They say there's no limit in this Texas town. The heat runs up when the sun comes down. The Texas-sized rodeo from the Lone Star State is coming up next on Pit Stop TV. Good evening, all, and welcome to the virtual Fort Worth, Texas. Ed Shearer is alongside for the call this evening, and Ed, this is the first mile and a half that these drivers have faced in this series for the first time in 2 months. Finally, some of NASCAR's bread and butter, as we like to call it. Just how important is it to get a good run at this track tonight?
It's pretty important, to say the least. This track being known for basically since the repave, where they had the wider turns and turn 1 and 2, and how 3 and 4 is basically just wide open. It's going to be a lot of bottom feeding here tonight. I definitely would like to see a little bit of possibly some high side action, but like you said to begin with the baller statement, it's pretty much going to be, anybody's ball game here. I mean, whoever's going to be on pole is probably going to be the main control of this race. It's really hard to pass in some areas, but definitely interested to see what these guys' setup's going to be. Possibly maybe working better in dirty air than clean air, but it'll be a fun one tonight for sure.
Absolutely. And you said it's going to be hard to pass. That is no joke. We can take a look at the track map here, and while it doesn't have the banking numbers, I can guarantee you turns 1 and 2 is much flatter. I think it's about 20 degrees in 1 and 2 to the 24 degrees in turns 3 and 4. Turns 1 and 2 is just significantly more flatter. You have to, in these cars, you have to get down on the brakes to get down to the apex of 1 and 2 before you can finally get back onto the throttle, ride that exit on up, down the back straightaway. Then, depending on how your setup is, I think we might have a little too much horsepower to do this tonight, but I'm also used to having to go full throttle through turns 3 and 4. And so really, how you set up a pass here is going to be getting a great exit out of turn 2, maybe even using that high side. Yeah, I know nobody's going to go up there, but if you might use that high side, get a nice, make that back straightaway really long, draft through turns 3 and 4, get a huge run through the quad oval and send it down to turn 1. That's probably how I'm going to be passing tonight, Ed. But we can look at the fastest lap times here on the left-hand side. And what we're dealing with tonight is the, quote, Generation 7 car, the next-gen car. James Houghton in 2022 Chevrolet Camaro ran a 29.434. The best times for these boys tonight, they're about a tenth and a half off, Ed. But fun little track tonight. It is nighttime, and we're probably about as cool as we're gonna get in sim tonight. But we can still see these boys get after it. It's 5/1000ths of a second that separates the top of the timing sheet.
Yeah, there's definitely not a lot of separation on these timing sheets so far. I really like what I see so far. I mean, we got just about, like you said, a tenth and a half off of the personal record here at Texas. But like you mentioned, turn 3 and 4 is definitely going to be the tricky part. Might be wide open, might be a little bit off throttle, but my biggest concern is definitely how fast that wall comes off after turn 4. When you're side by side, you got to be sure to not send it in too deep, as those walls are very treacherous when you come off the turn 4 coming into the tri-oval. Some people might hit it, some people might get loose off the exit and go through the grass. But then you also got to watch your entry going into turns 1 and 2, as the high side's not really recommended going into turn 1 and 2, where it's mainly everyone wants to be on the bottom. So it's definitely going to be interesting to see how people depend on passing here tonight.
And you can see here, I know everybody kind of has a perception when they come to Texas about how flat it is here in turns 1 and 2. But Ed, this is a static camera looking at the banking in turns 1 and 2. It's still pretty banked for what it's worth. It's just flatter than turns 3 and 4.
Oh, it's very steep. Like we mentioned, turn 1 and 2 is a lot more different than 3 and 4. Turn 3 and 4 is basically almost a wide open area, where turns 1 and 2 has the most amount of banking around this track, where you basically might have to use a little bit of braking to get the car to rotate.
Yep, I was just saying this is turn 3 for comparison.
Yeah, you can see the comparisons between the banking and how steep turns 1 and 2 is, and turns 3 and 4 is just not as much banked as turns 1 and 2. So as you see right there is Nicholas Shelton, I believe, right there. He was sideways off the exit of 2 just now.
Yep.
So we're gonna be interesting.
We're gonna be watching that all night, and that's kind of the fun of this track. I'd say, I know people don't give it a lot of don't like it. Let's just be real. People don't like this place, but for what it's worth, So first they made the reconfiguration in turns 1 and 2 because they were having problems trying to racetrack down here because of the weepers. So logistically, I understand that part. But what it's created, and I guess maybe the execution could have been done a little bit better. but it's created kind of a hybrid between Charlotte and like a Kentucky, unlike no other on the NASCAR circuit. And I think it's really cool. You also have to think it like Pocono. It's really hard to set a car up perfectly here, because you got to choose what end of the speed we're going to set a car up for, especially with the likelihood that these guys are going to be lifting in 3 and 4 instead of holding it wide open. You got to set your car up for one side of the speedway or the other, more than likely.
Yeah, I like the comparison you made about Kentucky. It kind of is a bigger Kentucky, just thinking about it. You know, turns 1 and 2 is kind of a wide open area just about, and then turns 3 and 4 is the bigger braking point, like you mentioned. And we don't see a lot of passing around Kentucky, really. It's on mainly everyone's on the bottom, but you can make the top work in 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. But going back to like what you said when you mentioned, not a lot of people like Texas. Well, the whole thing with Texas is, one, the repave. It made the interesting a little bit more different than what we're used to back in the days, where it was basically everyone top and bottom with the high horsepower package. And then also where they added the resin to basically where, you know, everyone wants to either use it, stay away from it, because, you know, it's really makes it difficult to pass. I mean, nobody wants to try it, but the difference here with iRacing, the resin's not here, kind of.
That's right.
So
That's fair.
we see a lot more people managing that middle lane to the bottom lane in 1 and 2, which is definitely going to be an interesting point to where we might see, you know, maybe possibly a winning pass move made off of turns 1 and 2 or 3 and 4. So it's a lot of differences, but I think the big thing is just that iRacing with no resin, it makes it optimistic, basically, to have a certain race like this happen.
Certainly. And you mentioned something about a winning pass move. Well, what was happening here is, Seth, there should be 2 stars by his name, but Seth Berger, with his win, passed up Jonathan Jennings in the point standings to get the second in points. He is only 13 points back of teammate Max Service, who is, well, let's be real, there's a large gap. There's a 12-spot gap right now between the teammates in practice in Seth Berger's favor. So Seth Berger is looking very... he's favored right now over Max Service to make up a lot of points. Jonathan Jennings is right behind Seth Berger. This points lead tonight, Ed, could get really tight between those top 3. And you have a little ways back. You have Stutzman, who's 66 back. Fitzpatrick is 99 back. Bailey 175. Herczeg returning to the track. He's 184 back. Schumacher 186. Gilliard 196 tied with Jacob Reeves. But while it's going to get close at the top of the standings, it's very close on that cut line.
Yeah, that cut line, it gets very, very interesting. You know, we got Doug Solms and Adam Gardner 2 points back of each other, 267, 269. Both those drivers are looking for great runs. Adam Gardner, who has had the greatest couple of weeks recently in the past in the Outlaws Sim Series, our league owner, but hopefully for a big redemption here, as Doug Solms had a really great run last week at IRP. Andrew St. Croix is also looking for a great run, 282 back. With 10 back of him was the guy that I think might have a good night tonight. I feel like he has the speed and potential to possibly make something happen. But that would be the 31 of Brad Bothwell, who's 292 back. Then just behind him is Derek McMurtry in the 84, who's 296 back. And then 3 back of him is Joseph Causey, who I believe hasn't been here the past couple of weeks, and I don't see him on the track tonight. So that'll be a little bit more of a points drop for him. But then just 2 points back of him is Greg Cole, his teammate in the 3, who I believe didn't show up last week, and I don't personally see him again here tonight. So another no-show for Greg Cole. That'll definitely be a little bit of a points battle for him. And then a 95 of Devin Smith, who I've seen have strides of improvement here and there. I'm definitely looking for a good run tonight, along with the 21 of Kevin Thompson, who's 339 points back, and then the 14 of Nathan Aldridge, who is 345 points back.
Right, and I do echo that. Yeah, we have not seen Causey and Holt for a couple weeks. But as it stands right now, they are 2 points above and below the cut line, which is nuts. That might be the closest margin we've seen at the cut line since the start of the season. And Devin Smith is looking to streak into the playoffs with a good run tonight. Thompson is only 9 points back, and Aldridge, he's steadily working his way forward. He was down deep in the point settings at the beginning of the season, but he's been more or less trying to finish these races. I know he had a rough run out at IRP last week, but Aldridge has really been showing up a little bit as well. And we're going to get a couple more names if Causey and Holt continue to drop into this top 20 in points. That should spice things up a little bit as well, as we are still, well, we are now in the beginning of the second half of the regular season, Ed. And I guess while we're talking about it, I can go ahead and take a look at it. because we've already been through, well, that first column. I'm not going to recite it every week. We'll just leave that first column as it is. But we just came off of double short tracks. Martinsville being Zoltan Herczeg's dominating race win. But right behind him was Seth Berger, who did take the cake the following week at Lucas Oil Indianapolis Raceway Park. And so 2 very great short track runs for Seth Berger. Right now he's 5th in the practice charts. Could be looking to carry that momentum into this summer stretch of races, as the first race of June here on Pit Stop TV and for the Outlaws Sim Series heads over here to No Limits, Texas in the Lone Star State. Next week is off, before the following week will be at iRacing Super Speedway. Then we'll head to another track that's well, it's over a mile, but it drives like a short track. New Hampshire, personally one of my favorite tracks on the NASCAR. It is my favorite track on the NASCAR schedule, actually. I am very, very excited for New Hampshire. Michigan is going to be a blast in these cars. Eldora is an unknown. Another pack race at Daytona. A roadie at Laguna Seca. Then Pocono, the tricky triangle, a short track at Phoenix. And Charlotte at the mile and a half to round out this middle column. But it's that final stretch of races at Bristol to the end of the season. That's things are really going to heat up.
Yeah, I mean, talk about a hard road to get into the playoffs of round 1. Bristol and Nashville Super Speedway, 2 tracks that might be a driver's life at risk to possibly make it to the playoffs. I mean,
Certainly.
You got 2 probably of the riskiest tracks on the circuit, with Bristol the really messy short track that we have with a lot of wrecks possibly happening, and then Nashville Super Speedway, everyone, either has a good day or a bad day at Nashville Super Speedway. But then I want to look at these rounds of the playoffs, Emerson. First round Daytona Road Course with Milwaukee and Charlotte Roval. I don't think we can ask for a more better first round than we possibly have with 2 road courses and then Milwaukee with the question mark there in the middle. So that's definitely going to be a very interesting round. Then I think second is probably my second favorite round. I know it's not my first, but I'll explain that in a second. First, you got USA International with Talladega and Darlington. USA International has the biggest question marks about how these next-gen cars are going to race, even though we know USA International is basically like, I want to say it's a little bit of a wider Martinsville. It has a little bit of wider space on the straightaways. Then we got Talladega, which you and me remember that first Talladega race in the beginning of the season. That was chaotic.
Oh, yeah.
And then we got Darlington, where it's really tricky to pass in these cars. You got tricky corners of turns 2 and turns 3 and 4. The long straightaways of where anybody can make a mistake, and even restarts are really tough at Darlington, which you and me both know very well. Then my favorite round of all, and I'm going to explain why. We got Homestead, Atlanta, and North Wilkesboro. One, Homestead, you can run either line you want. You can run the bottom, you can run the middle, you can run the top. My personal favorite's the top. I want a Larson line all the way around Homestead. So that's going to be fun seeing people roll right around there. Second, Atlanta, hopefully with the new Super Speedway Atlanta, because we all know that would be an amazing show to put on in the last round just before the championship. Then North Wilkesboro, again, kind of like a short track, really, really tricky on tires and a lot of bumps because of how old the surface is. So it's going to be a really tricky circuit. But then we end it all in Richmond, where we crown our champion. Again, another short track that's dependent on a driver's ability to manage his tires and well-being of his car. This whole playoff circuit is just fantastic from start to finish.
Absolutely 100% agree, Ed. This is going to be a phenomenal playoff run to Richmond, and that's what we're all racing for. Ultimately, is racing towards Richmond. You might be able to take a couple of notes from the past couple of weeks, but that road to Richmond is going to go through quite a wild stretch of races. Again, a mile and a half for the first time in 2 months. I don't think you ever hear of a 2-month stretch in NASCAR without a mile and a half in it, Ed. And after that, we don't have another mile and a half for, I think, another 2 months until we get to Charlotte. All the mile and a halves really are very in that kind of a playoff run almost.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, you could maybe count, Michigan in there, but it drives more like a super speedway. But I mean, like you said, it's just a big period of separation. But I look at the next cupping races coming up, iRacing Super Speedway in New Hampshire, to be very tricky for these drivers, between going from a super speedway to just, you don't even know what's going to happen at New Hampshire. I mean, it could be anything, carrying high speeds to downshifting into corners possibly. You never know. I mean, we saw what happened at IRP where these guys didn't even shift past third gear. So who knows what these guys are going to bring to New Hampshire.
Certainly a lot to think about in the coming weeks, but one thing is for sure. We are in virtual No Limits, Texas for tonight's 15th round of the Outlaws Sim Series season, and practice is into its final 10 minutes. Take a look at the timing on the left-hand side of your screen. It is B&G Motorsports, Nicholas Shelton and Zoltan Herczeg. At the top of the timing sheet, 4 1,000ths separate them, and then you'll find 3 100ths later, almost 4 100ths off of Nicholas Shelton's time. Jonathan Jennings, Brad Bothwell, and Seth Berger. Before you find John Mickey, McMurtry, St. Cour, Jacob Reeves, Scott Bailey. The top 10, looking at 26 drivers in the field so far tonight, and counting, Ed. But looking over at this track and what it has to offer tonight, Ed, who is somebody you've been keeping your eye on throughout this practice session tonight?
I definitely like the speed that B&G Motorsports is bringing, but if I have to pick one of them, I have to pick the 31 of Brad Bothwell. He had a really tough time last week at IRP, getting through a lot of wrecks, even quitting out a little bit early, but I definitely want to pick his brain a little bit and see how he's feeling tonight.
Well, let's go ahead and bring him on up. Driver of number 31, Brad Bothwell.
Brad Bothwell, you got a copy, buddy. Brad Bothwell, it's the boys up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, I do.
Well, Brad, first I want to touch your brain about last week. So last week we saw you involved in a couple wrecks. You had to quit out a little bit early due to damages and concerns. I definitely think you are looking at this possibly being your redemption moment this week. Do you feel in the same way as I do?
Yeah, we have a rocket ship this week, so.
Well, yeah, I could see on the charts. I mean, you guys have brought a pretty nice piece. I mean, you guys are sitting first, second, and fourth currently, and James Gilliard is in 11th. I believe he's your other teammate. So, I mean, I personally think you need a big moment like this to happen tonight for yourself. I mean, you're sitting pretty far back in the points. I know you need a little bit of a run to get going there. You're sitting currently 14th, only 10 behind Andrew St. Cour, who is 282 points back of our leader, Max Service, but do you think this is more of a points battle for you tonight, or you think you want to try to go get that race win?
I'm going to definitely try to go for the win tonight. I think we have the set to definitely do it. Bad thing is I got a lot of great teammates in here, too. So, I mean, we're going to try to do, if we got a battle at the end, we're going to battle.
Yeah, I like what you mentioned about the teammates and battling with your teammates possibly for a win. Now, we all know Texas has that big bottom feeder as we're looking at our cameras right now between turn 1 and 2. Definitely a big bottom feeder kind of track. Do you think you might have to migrate up at some points to pass some cars, or do you think you guys have a good enough piece to where you can make anything work?
Well, when I ran the official here, later on the run, I was able to go to the high side a little bit, so you might see me up there a little bit tonight.
Well, Brad, I want to say I appreciate you taking the time with us to talk with us, and I just want to wish you good luck. I know you definitely have a good run coming to you, as we saw last week, where kind of had a little bit of a Kenny Wallace moment as we saw you get a couple of free passes. I think you had at least like 3 or 4 at least, if I remember counting. So definitely don't want to see that happen to you again tonight, but good luck to you, man.
All right, thank you, guys.
That was driver of the number 31, Brad Bothwell, who was with Ed Shearer there. And somebody I have been keeping my eyes on, and this is somebody we did interview, well, I think the last time we interviewed this driver was back at Nashville. So I haven't heard from this guy in quite a bit, but I know he's always a great driver to talk to. Driver of the number 69, John Mickey. And John, got yourself a little hot rod tonight, heading into virtual No Limits Texas. How you feeling?
Oh, pretty good, man. Pretty good. Don't know if the speed will hold, but it feels pretty good.
It certainly looks pretty good up there on the timing sheet, 6th quickest. You said you don't know if it's going to hold. What is going through your mind going into tonight's race? 200 laps. You got stages at 40 and 90, but of course no cautions at that. So potentially an entire 200 lap race here at Texas. What's going through your mind to kind of see if you can maintain that pace?
Try not to make mistakes and avoid others' mistakes, and keep the nose on it, and we should come out pretty good.
Certainly seems to be a working plan. Now, the last time the series took to a mile and a half was I'm 8 weeks ago, about 2 months ago. In the next 10 to series, we'll see another mile and a half. Will be in about 9 weeks or so another 2 months. How important is it to get good runs at these mile and a halves that are going to be speckled all over the playoff run?
I think it's key because these cars, they're a handful at a lot of the tracks, but especially mile and a half. So you got to be able to hold it underneath of you for the whole race and get a good finish, because points matter at the end of the year. I know I missed a couple races, so I got a lot of work to do.
Certainly, we'd like to see if you can make your way up there. You still got some time, though. Looking like about 10 to 12 more rounds before we get to those playoffs. So a lot of time for you to try to make that up that lost ground. Now, John, we're past the halfway point of the regular season. I think it's a fair time to ask, especially before these cars get another little update to them next week. How have you enjoyed the NextGen car so far? What have you made of it? What's your favorite parts of it?
Personally, I love the fact you got to drive them. There's no more just your foot on the floor and it'll stay. You got to drive these cars and they get loose over the run. I love it. I actually love just having to be able to muscle the car around the track for the whole time. That's my favorite part.
I don't think there's very many people who would disagree with that. Certainly, it's a blast to drive these things. It's a blast to watch these things. And tonight, it is going to be a little hard to overtake, but it is very much doable, especially because, there's no resin on the outside lane as there is in real life. So what is going to be the key tonight? Should you get stuck about middle of the pack, how are you going to move your way forward?
Slowly and patiently. You just got to wait to get underneath of them, usually coming off of 2. And then if you're good at the pass, you can get it in 3 and 4. If not, you got to wait till you go back down into 1 and 2. But eventually you'll get them if you can get on the bottom. That's my opinion anyway. Just got to keep on keeping on patiently.
Right on. Well, again, I appreciate the time, John. I know y'all are getting to the nitty-gritty here at practice, so we'll leave you back to it. But, yeah, once again, 6th on the practice charts. Best of luck to you tonight, and hopefully we're talking to you a little later on, man.
Thank you very much. I hope so, too.
Right on. And that was driver of the number 69, John Mickey. And, again, I've known John, what are we talking about, like 6-7 years now? And he's probably one of the most laid-back people in the series. Nothing gets him riled up. I shouldn't say nothing. Things do get him riled up, but he will never show it. And I always love having conversations with John Mickey. And I've seen him have great runs. I know he's missed the past few weeks. I am very optimistic that he's going to break through sometime soon. Because he's definitely got the mindset to do so. But that is a great guy to talk to. And he understands race cars and racing to an up-team extent.
Yeah, and one thing I want to take on from what he talked with you about, patience is key with this. I mean, we all know you don't get these wins free. You never do. You have to work for them, and especially with these cars now, you have to work as hard as you possibly can to get the best you can out of your race car and, get the win done. You have to be perfect. You can't make one simple mistake, but like he said, patience is key, and I think if he plays his cards right, I think it will just come to him at some point. I know we've had a bunch of different winners recently. I mean, we had Seth win last week at IRP. We had Zoltan win at Martinsville. We had Nicholas Shelton win at Rockingham. So it's not like, we have consecutive winners constantly. So I definitely think we don't have that certain driver that we're going to look at to say, oh, he's the clear favorite because he's won this many races and won this many in a row. So, anything could just happen. And I definitely think John can definitely get it done here tonight. He's shown the pace in practice, so we'll see what he does tonight as we're getting ready for qualifying.
That is correct, Ed. It is time for Pratt, Tile, and Stone Pole Award qualifying. Pratt, Tile, and Stone, serving Central Vermont since 2005. And the track is opened for business. It's now been 20 seconds. And nobody is taking to it, Ed. Now, what we have kind of figured out, and what might be more of something. And now we're getting some drivers to the track. Robert Giannini, Jonathan Jennings, Adam Gardner taking to the very quiet track right now.
Yeah, a lot of quiet. I'm curious to see what the strategy here is. I mean, we got a cool tent track, so it definitely would be pretty smart to go out right now and possibly get your lap, as it's not going to be as slick. So definitely going to be interesting as we see. I like what I see from Gianni right now, or Giannini, excuse me. He'll probably get at me for that one, but running the high side, diving almost out to the bottom to carry as much speed as you can, at least topping out, as I've watched this now, at 190 miles an hour going into turn one. So he's definitely carrying as much speed as he can, but the only thing I'm a little concerned about, he missed a little bit of the bottom as he washed up a little bit.
He's in the wall.
Yeah, I had a feeling that wasn't going to be as great as he hoped. So, you don't want to wash up as high as you can in the turns 1 and 2. You want to carry that bottom in a momentum as he's going to loop it here around turn 3 or 4. As we're on board now with the 95 of Devin Smith.
And I thought with how slow you have to... Whoa, sideways is the 95 of Devin Smith. He's going round.
Into the wall.
This is a difficult car and track combination, Ed. It again, a new surface. It's very slicked up, and oh my goodness. I see a name on that entry list, and you see it there on the graphic. He's not in yet. Reese Schaefer, looking to make his first Outlaws Sim Series start in almost 2 seasons. My goodness. It'd be great to see Reese make it to the track tonight.
Oh, yeah, you and me personally know him, and I would love to see him do well here tonight. He definitely is that type of racer that I'd love to see in race, so it's good to see him back out here.
Absolutely. The 22 of Jacob Reeves is taking to the track. Now, what Reese is... What's going to happen for Reese is Adrian Schumacher has put it up second quickest. Drops down to third, and now 4th times are coming through, I guess. Adam Gardner goes top of the charts. How about it?
How about it? Talk about freaking laid it on the line. 3/100ths of a second faster than Jonathan Jennings, just about.
What a steamer from Adam Gardner.
Where did that come from?
I have no clue. Adrian Schumacher goes top of the charts.
All right, everyone's bringing it out now. I have to say, with these cool tents, you would think, how much tape are these guys putting on their cars?
Jacob Reeves goes top of the charts. I don't know, Ed. I'd imagine you're going to be able to maybe tape him off solid, and you might be able to get 3 laps out of it. Oh, right up near the wall is Fitzpatrick in 868. Puts Fitzpatrick. St. Cour goes top of the charts. Fitzpatrick went second, and now Schumacher back up there. Bailey, oh my goodness. This is great.
This is getting interesting right now. This ain't even a race. This is qualifying.
James Gilliard, there he is in his number 33. He's had a rough couple weeks, but he's out of that B&G Motorsports camp. He's got a good hot rod under him. Very sideways through 3 and 4. He's gonna go through the grass. Fitzpatrick's up at the charts.
That's how you can tell they have a fast hot rod, is when they're getting loose off the exit and they're carrying that much speed as they are. Yeah. And one thing I was going to touch on, these guys weren't running as quick as they were in practice. Adrian ran a 7.25. Our top practice time was around the 6.4s to the 6.3s, but
it was a 6.0. But
yeah, at some points we had 6.0s. Brad Bothwell ran a 6.08, and then we had Nicholas Shelton run a 5.59. But I'm not really surprised to see the kind of times dropping, but maybe the B&G boys will prove me wrong. We'll see here soon, hopefully.
Here's another driver who hasn't made a start in a few weeks. Julio Villalobos sideways out of 2. Hang on, buddy. The driver out of Mexico, Julio Villalobos, hanging on to her. He's got some great car control. Now, I know he's a very aggressive driver. He will be the aggressor to make moves. Absolutely. But, man, he's got some car control to do so as well. I know he doesn't have necessarily speed right now. It looks like he might have missed it on the setup a little bit, but certainly Villalobos, he can drive these things.
Oh, Seth
Berger, there he is, and still, you know what? I was gonna say still running that scheme, but it's perfect. that he is, he is honoring all the Uvalde victims on his hood, and he's running it here in the Lone Star State here in Texas. So great on him. He did mention this, by the way, last week as well. But Seth Berger still running that beautiful scheme that he won last week at Lucas Oil Indianapolis Raceway Park. He's third quickest on the charts.
Yeah, it's very touching, carrying off the win last week. Maybe he's doing a little bit of good luck charm too, maybe.
Sure. I was going to go to Jeremiah Stutzman. He has since reset. Daniel Molnix, and he's also slow on the track. So Robert Giannini giving another go sideways on the front straightaway and into the wall in the quad oval. Big hit from Giannini. Oh my goodness. And he has made it to the track. Driver of the number 17 in his Boss Security Automation Ford Cobra, we'll call it, Reese Schaefer.
That car looks familiar.
Yeah, it does, huh? I have not seen this driver take to the track in an Outlaws Sim Series event since he won the Season 1 season finale at Kansas Speedway.
And not only are you happy about that, but I'm happy to see Jeremiah Stutzman back in the Joey Logano paint scheme. He's got the AAA. Yeah. He's got the AAA Ford Mustang back out here. Last week he had the Pepsi scheme. I did love it, but I know he definitely likes wearing those Joey Logano paint schemes. But it's good to see him run a AAA insurance scheme out here from Joey Logano.
It's intriguing to me because I've known Stutzman for maybe also 7-8 years. I've never known him as a Logano fan. I've known him as a Roush fan, a 6-car fan. So the Logano schemes, it was kind of out of left field in my eyes from what I know about him. And it's great. I love it. Max Service also taking to the track.
Yeah, and I was watching Max in practice. It didn't look like he got comfortable with his car very much. He was kind of slow in the practice charts, which is something we're not really accustomed to seeing. But hopefully with his teammate Seth Berger, he set it up top in third. We'll see what he can put up here on the charts as he runs a 30.702 on his first lap. See if he can bring it up a little bit more speed on his second lap. Definitely carrying enough speed to run that bottom right there. He's hitting that bottom pretty well off of turns 1 and 2.
Still not seeing those downshifts that I was expecting out of these cars, but maybe it's just not faster. We're going to catch up with Reese Schaefer on his third lap. Now, he's coming out of work right now, no practice. This is all just raw him getting in the car. I don't even know if he has a setup. Getting in the car and getting out there. Max Service has gone 8th quickest on his second lap. This is Reese Schaefer's final lap out of turn 4. And he'll set 3 valid lap times. It'll improve. Where's that put him? 10th quickest. P10. Not bad for the man with no practice and a return to the series.
Absolutely not. Max Service is coming around to complete his third lap. Right now, currently, he's at a 29.08. Now he just jumped up to a 29.7. That puts him up to 4th quickest. So definitely a big improvement.
Huge improvement from practice times. And it'll put him very much ahead of Jonathan Jennings, somebody else he's also battling into points, but behind Seth Berger. So that'll be an intriguing points battle to watch out for. And Max Service is the last driver on the track for the moment. There's still some time for a driver to get out there and set one. Well, not anymore. So, by the looks of it, as Max practices a pit entry, that is going to do it for qualifying. And that means the 2 of Seth Fitzpatrick is your Pratt Tile and Stone Pole Award winner. And, of course, Pratt Tile and Stone serving Central Vermont since 2005. And again, I want to thank Andrew Pratt in all his work that he did to help the Outlaws Sim Series come from a console league to iRacing. Andrew Pratt was one of the biggest people to make that happen, helping people out with, questions and recommendations, and I'll be real, even helping them out with money to get PCs or wheels or memberships and stuff. Andrew Pratt did so much for the series, and Adam Gardner said, well, you know what, let's make him the Pole Award sponsor free of charge, and it's great. So again, a huge shout out to Andrew Pratt for really making the Outlaw Sim Series happen. But Qualifying has ticked over. We are going to get into the race session. And before we do so, let's go through our starting lineup for the 15th round of the Outlaws Sim Series season. Row number 1. It is the Pratt Tire and Stone Pole Award winner, driver of the number 2, Seth Fitzpatrick, looking for his second Outlaws Sim Series victory. Adrian Schumacher, looking for his first Outlaws Sim Series victory on an oval that isn't Daytona. Row number 2, we'll find the 77 and the 81 teammates, Seth Berger and Max Service out of Swift Racing, right behind another teammate, Adrian Schumacher. Seth Berger, Max Service duking it out for that top spot in the points from row 2 starting positions. Row 3, it'll be teammates as well, Jacob Reeves and Scott Bailey. Row 4, the 12 of Andrew St. Cour, the 44 Daniel Monix. Row number 5, league owner Adam Gardner, who showed very well in qualifying and return man to the series for, I'm gonna think here, we're looking at 37 races since we've last seen Reese Schaefer in Outlaw Sim Series race. So over the full length of a cup season, it's been since we last seen Reese Schaefer in the Outlaw Sim Series. He starts 10th.
Yeah, in row 6, we got Jonathan Jennings, who's second currently in points, just a little bit out of the cut line from our points leader, Max Service. Starting alongside him was the 5 of Matthew Setzer. In row 7, we got the 95 of Devin Smith, alongside him the 71 of Jeremiah Stutzman, who's looking for a bounce-back week. Row 8, James Gilliard, the 33, who's also looking for a bounce-back week after 2 consecutive weeks of not getting back inside the top 5. Alongside him is the 45 of Julio Villalobos. Row 9, the 39 of Zoltan Herxeg, alongside him his teammate, the 31 who we interviewed earlier, Brad Bothwell. In row number 10, we got the 14 of Nathan Aldridge alongside the 38, our Rockingham winner, the 38 of Nicholas Shelton.
Not the qualifying run I expected out of B&G Motorsports, but certainly they got the pace to make it to the front. Robert Giannini, he'll start to the inside of row 11 and 21st. The 84 of Derek McMurtry will start 22nd. 23rd, the 69 of John Mickey. The 6th of Larry McClellan starts in 24th. 25th will be the 96 of Matt Rogers. The 41 of Mike Petrin, he will start 26th. And rounding out the field will be 27th position driver number 67, Doug Solms. That is our 27 car field for tonight's race. And the field already working their way onto the banking. We already took a look at it once, Ed, but once again, we take a look at the track temp. Baby, it's cold here. It is 66 degrees track temp. Very cold, 65 degrees the air temp. Winds fairly calm, 6.5 miles an hour out of the south here. And tonight we will have stage points awarded to the top 10 in the running order at the end of lap 40 and the end of lap 90. So here we go, getting ready to do battle. 200 laps, 300 miles from the virtual Lone Star State, No Limits, Texas. Playing host of the 15th Outlaws Sim Series round. And we want to thank you all for tuning in across all of our platforms tonight, all of our Pit Stop TV platforms at Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube, and the Outlaws platforms at Facebook and YouTube tonight. Hopefully, we're going to bring you a great show tonight as the iRacing.com safety vehicle will make that hard left-handed turn into the safety of pit lane. And we are racing from Fort Worth. It's a very clean start at the front of the field. Well, everywhere, really. Adrian Schumacher slotted in line in second ahead of his teammates Seth Berger and Max Service, but they're all behind the 2 of Seth Fitzpatrick.
Oh, the 44, Daniel Molnix, just had a moment off of turns 1 and 2. Everyone behind him has to check up. He got wicked loose off of turn 2, and everyone got around him cleanly, but he's the only one I've seen so far that's fallen back the most, as everyone else is steadily, solidly in their positions from where they started.
Molnix hangs on. He'll lose a bit of time, but there he is. It looks like the car is still in one piece as well. So, unfortunate, but he is still in the race, which is a huge plus.
Absolutely, but the one person I'm watching right now, oh, is the 45 Villalobos, also has a moment up at turns 1 and 2. It almost collects the 38 of Nicholas Shelton, who I was just about to talk to. He's up from 20th to 11th currently right now, as we're only 3 laps into this.
Adrian Schumacher has lost 2 spots from the front of the field. He falls behind teammates Seth Berger and Max Services. They are on the move. Fitzpatrick runs purple as Jacob Reeves is trying to get to the inside of the 82 machine. Can't get down there. The 11 of Scott Bailey has brought a new hot rod tonight, way up high out of the corner. But again, an all-white car for Scott Bailey. Another new look for the 11 car.
Yeah, and Seth Fitzpatrick's starting to pull a little bit on our 2 lead cars right now, the Swift Motorsports with Seth Berger and Max Service. He's pulled about 6/10 on Seth Berger right now currently, as he's running pretty much fast lap times. As you see Zoltan Herkse go purple that lap with a 29.7. But our big movers are coming from the back, Emerson, currently right now. The B&G boys, they ain't wasting no time.
And there is Nicholas Shelton. Let's ride on board and let's see. Now, here's the thing. It's so hard to overtake here. Once you get to this point, where are you going to go?
Just got to find the hole, man. Got to find the hole. Wherever the clean air is, that's where I want to have my nose of my car.
Jennings goes purple. He is right up ahead. He's right up the road. And actually, Adam Gardner and Reese Schaefer are duking it out right now.
Yeah, Reese really made it tough on Adam Gardner right there. He held the bottom pretty well. Now he's peeking to the inside of the 12 of Andrew St. Cyr.
St. Cyr goes up the track. Schaefer painting that white line side by side out of turn 4. St. Cyr with the advantage at the line, but Schaefer should have the advantage into 1.
Yeah, just behind them, Matthew Setzer is also peeking on our league owner, Adam Gardner, for the spot, too. So a good start right now for the 17 and the 5, as the 5 has a moment right there. Had to check up a little bit. Maybe the 91 might take advantage of it here, maybe force it 3 wide, but I think it might be a little too early for that. I think he's just going to fall in line and peek behind the 56.
Shelton's going to dive to the inside. He smelt blood in the water. Look at him trying to force his way to the inside. Can't get down there.
Yeah, he's got great rotation in this car right now. This is the only car I've seen that's been able to rotate the bottom as well as anybody in 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. These B&G boys are moving up to the field as the 38, 33, and the 39 and 31 are all in unison right now.
And we're 8 laps in, and we're still getting fastest laps. That is really, it speaks volumes to the kind of raceability these cars have as they get faster. For the first few laps of a run, and how cold the track is. That first few laps could be 10, maybe 12 laps.
Yeah, it's kind of cold. I was expecting a little bit of passiveness from these drivers. You know, it takes a little bit of time on a cold track to get the tires to heat up properly. So definitely seeing maybe about a lap or maybe 5 or so for the tires to start to grip up and see a little bit more passing. But I'm loving what I'm seeing so far.
Back up front, it is Seth Fitzpatrick with a 9/10 of a second advantage over Seth Berger. Oh no, Doug Solms has lost the front end. Oh no.
How did that happen?
And he is 5 laps down. This happened a while ago. We're not going to go fish for the replay right now. It's going to be very hard to pinpoint it, but Doug Solms, his car is destroyed.
That's unfortunate, but I just saw the 38 of Nicholas Shelton absolutely waste no time. He made it 3 wide on both our league owner Adam Gardner and Jonathan Jennings. He's still trying to battle with Jonathan Jennings right now. That 38 is trying to come through as the 33 behind them is working Adam Gardner right now, while everybody else is trying to fall in line to follow this 38 up through the field. And they're like, okay, I see what he's trying to do. I kind of want to follow that train to the front.
Jennings trying to pin him down, but it's going to be really hard to do so. Jennings giving it his all. This is some great defense from Jennings to hold this spot, but Shelton is just going to overpower him at one point. Still at it side by side. Jennings still out there.
Yeah, he ain't giving it up, and I don't blame him for it. Every position counts at this point.
No, it's not over yet. Jennings fights back into 1. And is he cleared? He's almost cleared back. He is cleared back by Shelton.
Yeah, that momentum he gained on that high side definitely gave him the speed off the corner, and Nicholas Shelton didn't have that kind of speed to carry off the momentum, as Matthew Setzer is now going to look to possibly follow the 38, maybe even possibly make a move. He's peeking to the inside, but he's not going to go for it.
So Nicholas Shelton, he has found his match, at least for now. And Jonathan Jennings, who did not let him go this early into the race. Jennings said, you know what? I know how fast Nicholas Shelton is, and I have to keep that man at bay as long as I can.
Man, we got a little bit of a breakaway
Battle here.
going on at the front of the pack.
Up to 5th.
Yeah, he's moving through. He's
hauling.
working that bottom.
And
now he's got to get through at least 3 Swift cars now in front of him. I believe he's a part of the Swift team.
I was going to say, so
mistaken.
he is part of Swift. Season 1, I believe he was part of Team Squanch, and that since has dissolved. And he is yes, become Swift Racing. He's in that Discord channel at the very least. And I'd imagine that's probably where he got his setup from tonight as well.
Yeah, that would make a lot more sense. He's carrying a lot of speed, so he's definitely showing a little bit of muscle right now as I look behind them just a little bit. Andrew St. Core is trying to... Yeah, Reese ain't done, but right behind them, too, is Andrew St. Core trying to make a move on Scott Bailey for 7th position, I believe. He was making a move for a second, and then I think he backed out of it.
Herzeg and Setzer going at it for that 12th position. Setzer with the advantage at the line, but will he have it in the corner? Way up the track goes the 5 of Setzer. Is this him giving it up? Maybe trying to get a crossover? Is he trying to get that run off the corner?
Oh, Herzeg just about pinches him into the wall just about. It was a little close off of turns 2.
Very close. Setzer giving it a good run here, but I think Herzeg is going to clear on through, and he does.
And it looked like Adam Gardner wanted to try to fill in that hole, too. He wanted to get that spot, too, but he wasn't close enough to get it done.
Lawful has not been as lucky as the rest of his team moving forward through the field. Setzer hanging on now. Under attack from Adam Gardner. There is Adam Gardner making that move. He is on through.
Yeah, and I'm a little surprised about Adam Gardner. He had a great qualifying run starting 9th, and he's fallen all the way back to about 14th, now 13th as he got around the 5 Matthew Setzer. So it's interesting. Maybe he has a little bit of a long run car compared to the short run that we're on currently now, or I don't know if maybe he just didn't get the start he had.
I'll tell you this much. The kind of driver Adam Gardner became during all his practice time on a sim was he will give time up at the beginning if he is certain he will have time to gain and be able to gain it at the end. So, Reese Schaefer has moved up to 4th. He is blown by Adrian Schumacher, and he is on a march for his teammates up the road.
Hey, he may need to give a little bit of tips to the Swift Racing boys. He's making moves. As Seth Berger is now a second back of our current leader, Seth Fitzpatrick, but just behind Adrian and Jacob, the 11 of Scott Bailey and Andrew St. Core is under attack right now from the 91 of Jonathan Jennings, also the 38 of Nicholas Shelton.
And I won't bring too much attention to it, but let's just say Reese Schaefer last night, he was about 2 corners away from winning the regular season championship in another series. And I'm sure I know this isn't the same series and it's not even the same track, but I'm sure that's been on his mind to maybe kind of go ahead and make up for what could have been last night. He could have been the regular season champion for that series last night. He'll end up settling for 2nd as we'll gear up for the playoffs over there. So Reese Schaefer, he is starting to look on to max service. It's going to be a little bit of ways till he gets there. But what has happened is at the front of the field, Seth Fitzpatrick's 9/10 of a second advantage is now 6.5.
Yeah, I think this might be where the Swift boys come alive and touching back on that Reese Schaefer thing. This is a big thing too, and I was talking with Reese last night. You know, in that league, I believe we have Texas in a playoff race, so he definitely wanted to get some laps at Texas, and he's definitely looking like he's making sure of it because he's moved up all the way from 10th to 4th, so he's definitely making promise of what he said to us last night.
Watch this right here. Down to 4th. Seth Berger is getting that bad boy down a gear, getting that run up off the corner, and look at the time he makes up.
Yeah, I did want to touch on that in the pre-race. You know, downshifting at Texas is a thing. It's possible, but the only time I've ever seen it done is when you're trying to manage your tires. Kind of when you have that long run, you know, you don't have that forward bite to get to the bottom possibly. You can still downshift and make it into the corner better, as we watched Seth try it again in 1 and 2. Watch when he shifts. So you're right in the beginning of that corner to get the nose pointed right down to the bottom of the white line, and watch him have that better exit off of turns 2, better compared to the 2 of Seth Fitzpatrick, our current leader. Seth Fitzpatrick was a little bit higher up than Seth Berger, but
let's look at Fitzpatrick's telemetry down in the 1.
Yeah, it's interesting. He's cutting away. He gained about 2/10 that lap, it looks like.
Yeah, Seth brought it down to 4th. Let's see if Fitzpatrick is shifting here. He is, but he's shifting so much earlier than Seth is. So Fitzpatrick has that center of the corner speed. I think Fitzpatrick's better than Seth at the center of the corner, but Seth Berger has the advantage on corner exit.
And that's what you want, too. You want to be able to pass that guy on the exit, not in the center. So that might be a little bit interesting to see, but yeah, Emerson, I hate to break it to you, but Nicholas Shelton has gotten by Adrian Schumacher.
Oh man, Schumacher is dropping like a rock right now. You saw the gap blip up for a slight second there in Fitzpatrick's favor, but as soon as they got through the apex of the corner, it was all Seth Berger.
Yeah, he's getting there. It looked like Seth Berger was a little struggle to get down there on the exit. I think that might be a little bit of a factor of the dirty air, possibly, but he definitely reels him in right here on the straightaways.
Right here. Watch the margin. Right there. You see it pops up right there to the center, but Seth is going to reel him back in here on the exit. I think Seth might have made a mistake there, because that's actually Seth not gaining.
Maybe he's trying to get a little bit of clean air on the nose.
Sure. You know what? You get to this point, and it is so difficult to, manage your right front. Make sure you're not, putting too much stretch on that right front tire.
Absolutely. We're getting close to it. We're 27 laps in. These tires can definitely be fading away right now. He's going to try the outside. I like this.
I think he's going to cross him over. He's going to try to.
Build the run up on the exit. Diamond the corner. He's getting there. He's close. It's just the dirty air from the 2 is just affecting him right now in 3 and 4. This is where Seth Fitzpatrick is going to be able to keep and maintain the gap. But I like what Seth Berger did in 1 and 2. If I'm him, I go right back to it again.
Oh, Fitzpatrick tried to do it. He tried to take that line away. And you know what? It caught Seth Berger off guard. Seth Berger lost about half a tenth right there.
Yeah, but it looks like Berger got him again on exit right there. He got off the bottom a lot more better than that, too.
It stayed stagnant down the back straight. Here, Berger's really gaining into 3 and 4.
Yeah, he might have him in a couple laps here. I don't see how this 2 is going to hold him off. I think right now, the 2 right now at this point is just mirror driving.
He is. He's taking his line away. Seth Fitzpatrick saw what Seth Berger was trying to do, and he has shut that one down. So Berger is going to have to find another way by Fitzpatrick.
Oh, he's getting closer and closer. It built up a couple 100s right there.
But again,
right here he goes. He's going to try the top.
Oh, baby. Can he keep his nose out there? He's got the nose out there. It's going to be hard.
He's going to get it.
It's going to be hard in 1 and 2, though.
Now, you just got to make sure he maintains his speed going into turns 1 and 2 and powers it off the corner earlier than the 2.
Side by side off the corner. Is he clear? Not clear yet.
From the 2, I got to side draft him back. Make sure he doesn't pull away from me.
He didn't side draft him back. Seth's got that out. The Berger's got that outside lane. I can't call him Seth. They're both Seth. Berger up the track. And he is clear to the race lead. Berger Nation rise up. Seth Berger has taken to the point in the Lone Star State. And again, what this means to have all those Uvalde victims names is on the hood to be leading here at Texas. That is huge. Max Service has had a moment. He has lost 2 spots to Reese Schaefer and Jacob Reeves. I wonder if Service has lost his right front tire.
Possibly, but we got a big thing coming up in a couple of laps, Emerson.
Yep.
Stage 1's over in 10 laps.
Oh, yeah.
You know how big the points will be for Seth Berger if he wins this stage? Being as close as he is right now to our current points leader, Max Service.
Well, he'll gain 4 on Max right off the bat. And that'll bring the points advantage to 9 points that Max Service has at the end of stage 1, if Max can hold on.
And the same thing with Jonathan Jennings. He's in 9th right now. If he loses 2 spots, he's at risk of not getting any points. And he's got 2 of the B&G Motorsports guys that were fast in practice right behind him.
Nicholas Shelton has also now gone up here. He's knocking on the door of Scott Bailey's number 11 machine. Trying to look to the outside.
You see the speed of the 38 just carried off the exit just now? He carried so much speed off the exit than the 11. He was right up on his core panel just about. He was right up the tailpipe.
Bailey couldn't do anything.
See you later. He just powers around him on the bottom.
And Nicholas Shelton certainly smells the blend of water in the 81 machine up the road. The right side is damaged on that 38 and he's still cooking.
Yeah, that might be a moment for when he passed somebody that we missed possibly. But I want to give a shout out to that guy in the 22 just ahead of the 81.
Sure.
A great qualifying run and now a great race run. I was in a race the other day doing B Open at Iowa, and Jacob Reeves was in it, carrying again the Elite Performance Industries group where he gets most of his setups, I believe, for these races. And they bring speed just about everywhere they go, you know? But Jacob Reeves is that kind of driver that you definitely can easily put your bet on to have at least a top 10 to a top 5 race. He's consistent, he's clean, and he knows what to do at just about every single track.
Certainly, I've seen him grow as a driver in this series. I think he's just gotten better each and every week. I think Reeves's potential from the beginning of the season to now has improved, and I think Reeves has something for these boys if he continues to keep climbing up that ladder. Max Service, he is fighting hard to get back by Reeves. I wonder if Max just got loose and Reeves got on by, and Max is maybe potentially faster, but now Reeves is ahead of him. Remember, catching somebody is one thing here. Passing is a whole different story.
Yeah, and I've been watching this 81, and he's been struggling to maintain the bottom, both corners off. So I don't know, maybe if it's a tire issue, or maybe he just burned off his stuff like we mentioned earlier, but the 81's struggling right now.
Schaefer had a very wide entry there into turn 1. Stage 1 will be scored at the completion of lap 40. And that is quickly coming up. We got 4 boys nose to tail here. Shelton, I know he's not really caring about stage points, but Shelton is on it.
Yeah, he cared more about race wins and trophies, but one thing I want to touch on with the B&G boys, the 34 Robert Giannini is a lap down currently in 23rd, so I don't know if something happened or if it's a little bit of a strategy he pulled, but I'm looking around his car and I don't really see much of damage on it, so I don't know what happened with that 34.
He pitted 4 laps ago, so this is a strategy call potentially. We have lost Matt Rogers, Nate Aldrich, and Doug Solms from the race, though. 22 cars complete lap 23 running, and all 23 running, I believe, are still quality cars. Alright, so 2 laps to go in stage number 1. And Seth Berger is your leader by 4/10 of a second over Seth Fitzpatrick. Then another 2 seconds back, you'll find Schaefer, Reeves, Service, Shelton, Bailey, Schumacher, Jennings, and Gilliard. Through turns 3 and 4 for the penultimate time in stage number 1. Seth Berger went out 1 lap in stage 1, and it's been a great stage. He not only chased Seth Fitzpatrick's near second advantage down, he overtook him. He worked him over. He made it. I mean, Fitzpatrick made it a real fight. It was a tough pass. But Berger out-muscled him. And through turns 3 and 4. Now for the final time in stage 1. Seth Berger. He is going to win stage 1 here in that No Limits, Texas. Fitzpatrick second, Schaefer third. It is Reeves, Service, Shelton, Bailey, Schumacher, Jennings, and Gilliard, the top 10.
Yeah, and that's big for Seth Berger, you know. We were talking about the points going into this race and how slimly close he was to our points leader, Max Service, and
only
the gap from him to Jennings. Yeah, now it's thinned down. So if he has a great run like he is now and possibly gets the race win, we may have a new point leader on our hand.
Certainly, potentially, a new sheriff in town at the end of the night. We'll see if the incumbent Max Service can hold on to what it is there in the 5th position. He is under heavy attack. He's also putting on heavy pressure on Jacob Reeves. He's just not able to get past him.
He's been trying this top lane. I don't know if it's doing with his tires, how he's managing his car, or this is something he's just trying. But doing that is allowing the 38 to eat them back up, and he's just behind them. And then a little bit further back of them is the 11 of Scott Bailey. But Max is just trying everything he can right now to make this top lane work, even though he may not get the runoff. But the 22 is doing a solid job of defending. Is now the 38 is going to look underneath the 81 of Max Service going down the back straightaway right now.
Shelton looking to the inside. Max, is he going to be able to put up a fight here? He goes way up the track. I think that's him kind of throwing his hands up and letting Shelton on through. He's going to give it a fight. He's going to try it.
I don't know if he's going to make it work, but he'll try it. I don't blame him for it, but he's going to have to do something. Oh, he goes way up that time.
And Shelton's going to clear up off the corner. If Service can keep the power down, he might have a go to the inside.
He's got the run. Is he going to look for it?
He's not close enough.
Ah.
So Nicholas Shelton will go to 5th position in that number 38 machine.
And now Scott Bailey's going to try to take a peek at Max Service possibly behind him. He's close to cap down with Max Service being side by side with Nicholas Shelton for so long.
Now that we're through stage 1, Ed, we're now looking at what the strategy is going to be for these guys. And I'm thinking, well, we're on a 100% fuel load. So these guys, they got the entire 20-gallon tank. And you could go, what, about 60 laps in the Gen 6 car? So maybe 60, 63, 65 in this NextGen car. And, well, you do 65 times 2, that's 110. Right? No. Times 2 is 130, my bad. Add another, that's a 70-lap run to the end. So, it's going to be close. Some of these boys might be saving fuel if you can go that long.
If I'm someone like Max Service right now, I'm thinking about pitting around lap 55 to 60. Easily.
But that would ensure you'd have to make a third stop.
I mean, if you know you have the power to maybe possibly make the positions back, then I would do it, absolutely. If you know you have that kind of a short run car in you that can make up spots, I would do it.
I mean, he's got the pace, but, I mean, we've seen him. He's just not able to pass.
Well, Matthew Setzer's on pit road right now currently.
Setzer giving her a go. Looking. There he is. So, he's been there for a minute. That is... might be a day done for the 5 car, Matthew Setzer.
I'm just looking through this whole field right now. I'm interested to see. We got the 95 Devin Smith, who's got right front damage. He definitely made contact with someone or possibly the wall. Brad Bothwell, who we thought, you know, we saw in the practice charts, who had a decent run in practice, hasn't really gained as much ground as his teammates are. The 71 of Jeremiah Stutzman, who's a little bit ahead of him, you know, who had the great runs the last couple of weeks, didn't have the result he wanted, and has kind of fallen back about 4 spots from where he started. And Adam Gardner just in front of him, who had a great qualifying effort and now is back here. So I'm a little bit surprised to see where everyone's positioned at right now.
How the mighty have fallen. How about Andrew St. Gore? He was up there. He started 7th, down in 15th.
And that right side damage is probably not helping at all either.
Certainly not. Julio Villalobos, he's having a decent run. He's up 2 spots from where he started, and the car is clean. Villalobos has some time to improve upon that spot as well.
And then just ahead of him, John Mickey, who's up 10 spots.
Yeah, John Mickey. Gonna talk to him in the pre-race show, and he is, he loves these things, and he has. Let's see where he started. He started 21st, so he's been on a climb through the field. John
Absolutely.
Mickey, that thing, it's looking good too. So John Mickey's, he's certainly been working his way through the field, and he is showing it. Not to the pace that the B&G boys are, but man, he has been working his way. And Andrew St. Cour to pit lane.
Possibly green flag stop.
I would imagine so.
I don't see how this brings anybody down pit road. We got a battle going on for 4th place right now, going into turn 1s and 2 right now. Emerson, we got the 38 of Nicholas Shelton, who's caught up to the 22 of Jacob Reeves.
Now, we've seen how well Reeves could defend against Max. Does he have what it takes to defend against Nicholas Shelton?
I don't know. This 38, he's been picking his way through the field. I don't see how he can possibly defend this 38 machine as he's going to peek to the inside right now, going down the tri-oval, possibly looking to 1 and 2. He's at his quarter just about right now.
Reeves way up the track and try to use the back straightaway to his advantage, but Shelton's going to get the advantage through the inside of 1 and 2, side by side down the back.
And Reeves has the momentum off the top side, but I don't know if he can carry it going down to 3 and 4.
It didn't even matter.
Nope, Nicholas Shelton just powered on through. Moved Nicholas Shelton up to P4.
Got a car coming down. That's Devin Smith.
Yeah, this might be a little bit of strategy. I also saw the 31 of Brad Bothwell on pit road, but he's now 2 laps down, so I don't know. And then we got Mike Petrin, who's the next car that is ready to go a lap down.
Mike Petrin in that 41.
Petrin.
He is the last car in the lead lap, but he's still out there. Yep. We'll see what Petrin decides to do. That car doesn't look damaged. I don't know if he just had a moment or something.
Possibly. Zoltan Herkse got around the 33 of James Gillier for 10th place. Now Zoltan's also looking on the inside of Adrian Schumacher for 9th.
Schumacher not going to be able to put up too much of a fight. Hertzeg might clear him before turn 3, and we'll clear him into turn 3. Let's move Zoltan Hertzeg up into that 9th position. And looking at Jonathan Jennings up the road.
And Devin Smith has pulled it into the garage and has called it a day.
It's stayed on 4 of a 95. The 5, he is 4 laps down, but he has returned to the track.
Pretty interesting to see as much single file racing as we have so far. You know, I'm pretty sure the only car that we've seen that's been steadily moving through this field is that 38 machine.
Oh,
and
Max,
even
big loose out of turn 4, big moment.
Wow, yeah, he's definitely struggling. But like we mentioned earlier, Emerson, we're getting close to those pit stops. We're just grossing over lap 57, coming to 58. So might be some seeing green flag stops here momentarily.
It's going to be intriguing to see what lap these drivers can pull. Because, again, it's going to be really close to making this a 2-stop race. I don't know if Nicholas Shelton has the fuel or tires to make it a 2-stop race, but he's certainly been putting on a show, and he just might. That might be part of it. He is an NASCAR Coca-Cola iRacing Series driver for a reason. So Shelton up to 4th. He has not made too much of an inroad into Reese Schaefer's advantage over him.
No, and Seth has been growing his lead on the 2 just by a little bit. He just put the 41 a lap down. He's about 1.6 ahead. More than likely a green flag pit stop for Adam Gardner. And we got a battle going on. We got a battle going on for 13th. The 45 of Villalobos is on the inside of John Mickey, going down the back straightaway currently.
And he'll get that pass off into turn 3. And again, Villalobos' car is clean. I know Mickey's been moving his way through the field. Maybe Mickey might have burnt up himself. I think Mickey's coming down right now. Mickey's coming to pit road.
Make sure you don't speed. It's a really tricky pit road here. 45 mile an hour on pit road. It's really hard, you know, going 170, 180 down to 45. It's a really tough task. Oh, just about to slid him. Oh, yeah, back up. Oh, man, he missed by a little bit.
It might have been too far right.
Ah, man. He's going to lose a lot of time there. All that ground he made up might be thrown out the window right there.
Oh, and well, I can understand the frustration.
Absolutely. It's unfortunate. He was having such a good run, too.
Here comes Seth Berger. Race leader is in.
And Seth Fitzpatrick's following him down. Reese Schaefer as well. Nicholas Shelton stays out.
Top 3 are in. Shelton to the point. There's Nicholas Shelton. Jacob Reeves stays out, and Max Service stays out. Bergzag.
Done.
I'm gonna stay out. There's the Cephs in the pit boxes. Patrick's crew, they had to take a moment to readjust.
Nicholas Shelton's in the pit road this time. He about got wicked loose off the exit of turn 4 right there. Max Service is also in. Jonathan Jennings, Zoltan Herdzeg, Adrian Schumacher, James Gilliard.
There is Seth. Where's Schaefer? Schaefer racing Fitzpatrick on pit exit.
Oh boy. That's a lot of ground that 17 made up.
Certainly. There's Shelton in.
Now we gotta watch that 77 compared to the 38. Where are they gonna meet up as they come out of pit road? 77 right now is in the middle of 3 and 4.
Hertzog, Gilliard, Jennings, Service, Schumacher all in. Monix is coming in. That pit lane time for Nicholas Shelton, 39:44. For Seth Berger, oh boy, it is 41:22. Right there, that's where Berger got by Shelton. And it's not going to be that big of a margin. Shelton
Absolutely not.
leapfrogged Fitzpatrick and Schaefer.
And that's something you do not want to see, seeing how fast that 38 made it through the field. Oh, he gets loose off of turn 4! Has to save it! And he saves it!
What a catch for Nicholas Shelton, but all that advantage he had is just gone away. And now he's definitely got the car to make up that advantage, but that is huge. Jeremiah Stutzman, he started from the pit lane, so until he pits, our time in scoring is going to be a little messed up.
Oh, and the 82 had a moment just earlier. I thought I heard somebody go through the grass. Yeah, the 82 got loose off of turns 4, and he had a moment, and he caught it through the front straightaway grass. He went all the way through the front straightaway grass.
Jeremiah Stutzman, he has made it as long as he could. And again, he is going to be about 5 laps shy of making this race on a 2-stop.
And Jacob Reeves loses a little bit of ground, getting passed by Max Service. Nick Zoltan Hertzeg, Scott Bailey also getting by him.
He just came off the pit lane, so he's battling Giannini. There's Giannini, and that's how he worked out. And Giannini sideways, even though he's out there on old tires.
And he's on really old tires compared to these other guys.
So Seth Berger has a 1-second advantage over Seth Fitzpatrick and Reese Schaefer and Nicholas Shelton, who's only 0.5 of a second. He's only half a second back off of Reese Schaefer.
And Zoltan Hertzeg must have had a moment off of turns 3 and 4 because the 11's to the inside of the 39 going into turns 1 and 2 currently right now. With Scott Bailey ahead of Zoltan Hertzeg for P6.
Hertzeg now going to see if he can make that position back up. Have to regroup here before he can do so, though. Another car coming down. That is leave. Schumacher is slow. He came back down to pit lane. So Adrian Schumacher, he is 3 laps down. He's made a second pit stop today. It has not been the 82's day.
Absolutely not. And again, another one of those guys that had a great qualifying run and just fell off as the long run went.
Seth Berger, your race leader. And while we've got a moment, we're going to go ahead and we're going to go side by side here at Pit Stop TV. And we got a new Whiplash commercial coming up that y'all should also check out as well. So don't go anywhere. Well, we're not going to go anywhere either. Seth Berger, your race leader. Fitzpatrick, Schaefer, Shelton, Service, the top 5. That's a lot of S's. We'll be right back.
Have you found yourself trying to hide your joy because you're unhappy with your teeth? Your smile is the first feature noticed in an interview, on a date, or in family photos. We want you to be able to shine bright as your best self, and our teeth whitening system is the perfect step toward restoring your confidence.
Welcome, race fans, back to virtual No Limits Texas and the Texas Motor Speedway in the northwest portion of Fort Worth, Texas. North portion, I guess. Yeah, northwest portion of Fort Worth, Texas. Seth Berger just had a moment out of turn number 2. And his 1 second advantage to the front of the field has quickly dissipated. Seth Berger now under pressure from the 2 of Seth Fitzpatrick.
Yeah, I don't know if this is where the 77 has his weakness, or if it's just maybe an adjustment he made possibly, or I don't know. I don't know what's going on with the 77, but it's interesting.
Potentially, he might, he is downshifting, so maybe he just got a little too high of an RPM coming off the corner, and the rear tires did not like it. But Fitzpatrick is wasting no time with it, and the top 3 are within a second of each other. Top 4 within a second and a half. And Seth is kicking himself with that mistake as well. He did not want to allow really any of these guys to get this close to him, but he did not really want to allow Nicholas Shelton to get that close to him.
Oh, absolutely not.
So I could feel it. Seth probably already driving a little mad. So the thing is now, can Seth maintain this lead? Try to build up any advantage he can. Schaefer is continuing to close in on this, by the way. And Shelton is not. I want to point that out. Schaefer is closing. He closed the 10th. Shelton has lost the 10th.
I wonder if Shelton's little mishap that he had on the exit of 4 maybe roasted a little bit of the tires, because you and me both know when you spin out and heat up those tires, they are not happy for the rest of that run.
It takes forever to get them back down to temperature. Now, what would happen, what would work in Shelton's favor is the track is very cold, so they would cool off quicker, but not an easy feat by any means. And now Seth Berger is opening up his advantage on Seth Fitzpatrick, and Schaefer is now attempting to size up the 2-car Seth Fitzpatrick.
And I think this is what Reese needed. He had a good car, but he had to make those passes, so maybe he ate up those tires during that little bit of a run. But getting that much time on pit road with the fresher set of tires definitely is what he needed. And you and me both know Reese. He's definitely a conservative driver when it comes to when he's solo by himself. He'll manage to take care of his stuff. He's very passive aggressive. He ain't gonna move you out of the way for anything. He always apologizes, even though it may not be his fault. That's what he always does. I yell at him for it. But
one of the nicest guys.
He's one of the more nicer guys we've ever met, and it's definitely good to see him out here again, and he's having a great run. I'm really happy for him, but he's starting to inch away at this too. He's cut it down just by about maybe 2/10, so he's coming up there, not 2.
Certainly, and I know Schaefer has not ran in this series over the past 2 seasons, but I know Seth Berger has told him about the driver that is coming up behind in Nicholas Shelton. That is somebody you do not want to let get past you. I'm sure Schaefer wants to get by this 2-car as efficiently as possible, put a car between himself and Nicholas Shelton, and see what he can do.
Yeah, possibly something that might differ into Nicholas Shelton's plans. That 82 is just behind him, who recently came off a pit road. He has a little bit of a fresher set of tires than these guys, so if the 82 gets by him, he'll be trapped in that dirty air bubble possibly, to where he's going to be tough enough to pass him, as Reese is starting to move up the little bit of the track to try to get the clean air on the nose to try to get around this 2-car. Possibly what we saw earlier from what Seth Berger did to pass the 2 earlier just for the lead.
And that one didn't really pan out, but you know what? Try it early, see if there's something you can learn. I like that, the fact that these drivers have to learn. They have to try things. You're not 100% sure if a move's going to work. You got to try it. And he's going to try it again. Maybe the execution was poor the last time around. I think Schaefer got a better rotation there to the center of the corner. But what this is doing is this is allowing Shelton to catch back up the advantage that Schaefer opened up.
Yeah, but just that little bit, you know, Schaefer's catching him just little by little, and once that 2 makes a mistake, 17's gonna be there to pounce as he gets a good run off a 3 and 4 right there. He's getting a little bit closer here this time. Possibly might look to it. Maybe the next turn's a 3 and 4, but he's definitely making his way to get by that 2 car here eventually. And you know, Seth Berger, his gap is not really, you know, pulling a little bit as these 2 are trying to start the fight.
Huge run for Schaefer.
Yeah, here he goes. He's gonna peek. He's gonna show he wants it. He ain't gonna take it though.
That's a smart move right there from Schaefer. Playing the
absolutely. Yep. But the 2 moved up there a little bit to block him with the dirty air, so gonna not help Schaefer's run here on the exit of turns 3 and 4. But going into 1 and 2, he might try this top again. Yep. Here he goes, right back at it again. Is he gonna get the run off that he did last time going down the back straight? Well, we'll find out here.
All the while, Shelton is loving it. Shelton has halved the gap that Schaefer put on him. And
yeah, just a little bit. He's closed, and now Schaefer had to back out of it. He had the dirty air, and he got a little tight, but he's going to try to eat him up, back up again on the exit of turns 4 right here.
Here's Schumacher as well. This top 4 plus the lapped car of Adrian Schumacher is about to get really tight here, really quick.
Yeah, we got about that same battle right back here for 5th, 6th, and 7th. Max Service is getting gained on by Scott Bailey and Zoltan Herdzeg. Same thing all the way around this track right now. 1, 2, 3 are fight. 1, 2, 3, 4 fight. Or excuse me, 2, 3, 4 fighting, and 5th, 6th, and 7th are all fighting.
Schaefer searching, peeking to the inside of Fitzpatrick, not close enough to really make Fitzpatrick flinch, but attempting to. Schumacher all over the rear end of Shelton.
Wow.
I know he's a lapped car, but Schumacher really showing that he, I know he's got fresher tires, but he is faster than 38 for the time being.
Yeah, for the time being, but I don't know if you want to rattle that dude's cage.
It's kind of an unknown. We haven't seen anyone really rattle his cage over his teammate at Talladega.
Yeah, you're right.
We haven't really seen anyone get on Shelton's bad side. Anyway, out loud or obviously. Maybe maybe he has a list of people he already doesn't like from lapping or whatever. But
there's probably a Coke Series list out there somewhere.
Oh yeah,
people he's raced with.
Well, I was talking more about Outlaws, but yeah, certainly there's probably a Coke Series list somewhere. Oh man. Well, these 3, I thought it was gonna get spicy. It's since stagnated. I think Schaefer is more studying Fitzpatrick for the moment. Schaefer
yeah, I'll talk about
a
battle going on in the way back right now for 15th. Derek McMurtry and Adam Gardner have been going back and forth at it. Excuse me, this is for 14th. With that Captain Crunch 84 Chevy.
Captain Crunch and Scooby-Doo.
I've never been a fan of the Captain Crunch cereal.
Only had it a couple times.
I was more a fan of a Frosted Flakes and Honey Nut Cheerios.
Honey Bunches of Oats. Man, that's my favorite.
Never had that one either.
Honey Bunches of Oats are amazing.
Must be a Texas thing.
No, that one, I can't fathom that one's a Texas only thing. It could be. I can't fathom it, though. I'll have to look that one up. And you know what?
Oh, boy. Scott Bailey had a moment.
Yes, here comes Herczeg. This is for 6th, and Max is right up the road.
Yeah, these two have been exchanging back and forth. Scott once passed Zoltan for the pass when we came off the green flag pit stops, and now Zoltan got him back right there, and now Jacob Reese is looking underneath the 11. He ain't there, but he's just showing he wants it. Oh, he's going to drive it in.
Oh, Jacob Reeves. He is showing that he is here to play. That is for sure.
And Max is just on a Sunday cruise. Even though he's 6 seconds back of Shelton. He's got nothing in front. And Jacob Reeves really wants this.
To the inside, Reeves continues. And the inside lane usually should mean easy passing here at Texas, but that outside lane, I think, with a huge helping hand with this new car, is paying its dividends in its own rights. And Jennings, who's still 9, but he has his sights set on this battle up ahead. Honestly, there's a road for Jennings to get the 5th here.
Yeah, Scott Bailey really wanted to keep that position. I heard him at 3
That
or
was
4.
the end of the stage right there. My apologies. Seth Berger won stage
wow.
2.
You know, that's what happens when we're having so much
Who
fun.
got it at the line? Was that did Reeves get at the line? You could check
I'll
right
go back
now.
and look. Yeah, I'll go back and look currently right now. Let's see.
You could have checked the standings, so it's gonna change right now. So. That's
Jacob Reeves got him just by a
wow,
nose.
so Reeves got 7 for the stage at the line. Everything else is stagnated. Fitzpatrick got 2nd, Schaefer 3rd, Shelton 4th, Service 5th, Hertzeg 6th. But it was Reeves, Bailey 7th, 8th, Jennings and Gilliard top 10 for that stage. Wow, that was great. We didn't even notice it.
No, we did not. That was interesting. But we got a battle going on here for 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Nicholas Shelton's all over the back of the 17.
Baby. I was gonna
And
say
he's got a sight sit on it again.
Hertzeg got by Max Service for 5th, so Hertzeg's up to 5th. He's got a large, about 6.5 second deficit to this battle right here. I wonder if Schaefer is going to be phased by his first encounter with NASCAR Coca-Cola iRacing Series driver Nicholas Shelton.
Oh, we both know him well. He ain't scared of nothing.
I'd say scared, but I wonder how this battle is going to go. Oh, Fitzpatrick, a little bit of a blink. That is not going to help means, and it's not going to help by any means. Schaefer defending well and not losing anything to Fitzpatrick. This is very tight.
Talk about 2 birds and 1 stone. Not losing time to the guy in front of you and not letting the guy behind you even get to you.
Now, this is probably one of the most tenser situations you can be in at Texas, when you're trying to make a pass and you're currently having someone trying to make the pass behind you. I guess in any time, at any track, you can be in this situation. But at Texas, you got to be studying to see how you can make the pass. Plus, you got to be studying to see how the guy behind you is trying to make the pass on you.
Yeah, I mean, Reese has been trying to get by Seth Fitzpatrick for the longest, and I don't know, maybe if he burnt his stuff up just a little too much and he's trying to regather it, but the 38, after, having that kind of a half spin off of the pit cycle, I think his tires are coming back up to normal temp, so I think he's starting to get back to where in his rhythm.
Oh, they're getting close. Shelton might...
Oh, he packed the air underneath that 17 just now.
And Shelton, I don't think it would be shy to use the front end. He's already used the right side of his car.
And they might use this lap car up ahead of him as a pick, possibly. They're catching up on the 12 of Andrew St. Core. Maybe even use the lap car as a pick, maybe to get by Reese.
And St. Coeur will stay up high.
Well, the 38 had a moment, so did the 17. The 17's washed up the track a little bit off the floor. The 38 got tight on the entry.
Oh, where's the lapper gonna go? St. Coeur way up the track. Schaefer tried to maintain.
Oh, he ain't gonna clear him though. They're gonna be side by side just about. All the 38 ain't gonna clear him. The 17 cleared him. The 38 didn't.
Yeah, Sheldon's gonna have a sharper entry into the corner, shallow line. So Reese is gonna get the advantage through 3 and 4 that time, but Sheldon should adjust quickly here. All that has allowed Fitzpatrick to break away and potentially chase down race leader Seth Berger. It's closed up to half a second. The top 4 within 1 second.
And the 38's still looking. He's going to have a better run right now coming off of turns 1 and 2. Here he comes with the run. Is he going to do anything with it? Is he going to show that he wants it? He's going to show he wants it. He's trying to pack it in there, but 17 cuts him off once again. Man, he really cuts him off that time.
Next time in the 3 and 4, we got to see just how close it is. We're going to take it on board. If they're still in this situation down 3 and 4 next time, I'm going to take it, the nose cam on board with Shelton here.
Oh, yeah, at this distance, he about centered him in the bottom of 3 and 4. Watch how much he eats up right here on the exit of 1 and 2.
Here we go. Oh,
he gains up this distance. He's going to try to possibly send it into this turn 3 and 4.
Oh, Schaefer sideways!
He tried.
So he lost a little bit of time to Schaefer there, so that one won't do it justice. Fitzpatrick is stagnated on his quest to get Berger.
Oh, James Gilliard with a moment? Or if this is a green flag pit stop. James Gilliard's on pit road right now. He was in 10th place.
Well, you know, if you're going to make it an obvious 3-stop race, might as well try to split it in half the rest of your run. So I guess that's what Gilliard is doing.
And all that, we had a battle for 11. Jeremiah Stutzman got around the 45 of Villalobos. But now Villalobos is trying to go back on him again. Yep, he crossed him over again.
Villalobos holds that spot. But remember, Jeremiah Stutzman is saving fuel. And Villalobos, he has been on a march through the field. The two completely different agendas in that battle.
James Gilliard's exiting the pit road currently right now.
Exit down in the 18th position, 1 lap down. He'll be the 4th car, 1 lap down behind St. Coeur, Bothwell, Petrin.
I wonder if that's a strategy or not. Maybe the one stopper or something.
Gilliard.
One more stop.
Oh, here
possibly.
comes Shelton. No, I think Gilliard was making it clear it's just gonna be a 3-stop race. This is not gonna be.
Oh, this ain't gonna help.
Intriguing. What's gonna happen?
This is a teammate. This is a teammate in front of him. I don't know if he's gonna like this.
Oh, sideways is Shelton.
Oh, that did not help. I don't know. He's not happy with his
teammate. Is not gonna allow
teammate.
Schaefer to get by now. What is Schaefer gonna do here?
I think he's just gonna understand that the 33's on fresher tires and just get behind him. He got a little squiggly right there off the exit of the 2.
I'd imagine Gilliard would back Schaefer up here. No, he's not. But Schaefer, he's gonna try to search for that cleaner air. Wow.
That got interesting for a second.
Timing for Gilliard to come out in front of his teammate, get him loose, and potentially jeopardize that battle.
And now Gilliard just went around the 2, Seth Fitzpatrick.
Well, he's got the fresh
He even
tires.
he backs Seth Fitzpatrick up to the 17 now just a little bit. Lost him a little bit of time.
So that gave Schaefer some breathing room to Shelton. Brad Bothwell is in, making a similar strategy call to Gilliard. And we're going to have pit stops here for about the next 25 laps, if you think about it, because Stutzman's going to be the last driver to pit, and he can go to 130. It's a long pit cycle.
That was something I was just worried about what we just saw. The 33 just cut off the nose of the 77, and these two had their moments at Martinsville. So I don't know if I don't think he forgot about it, but I don't know if that was on purpose or what. But he did not give our leader any sort of room right there.
I would not worry about it, especially now that Gilliard's passed. But I don't think there was much of anything with that. What is happening is Shelton closing up on Schaefer is going to try to bring it within 1 second to the race leader once again. And, yeah, so things have kind of stagnated here. Another battle on track is here. This is Jennings trying to work on Scott Bailey. This one's been brewing for a while.
And Jennings has his moments. He's been on and off tonight. He's been lingering around this top 10 area most of the night tonight. He started 11th. Now he's up to 9th, looking for 8th on Scott Bailey. Scott Bailey, who also is having the same kind of moment, started 6th. He's been lingering around this same spot where he's in right now in 8th. So not pretty two consistent drivers right there fighting for the same spot. And Jacob Reeves is trying to hunt down the 81 in front of them on max service for P6 as well.
You know what? I just remembered. So the stage 2 results, where did Max get 5th or 6th? Was Zick past Max at the stage? Sideways a service. Well, Max got the spot right here.
I don't think he was in front of Max.
Nonetheless, the points lead is going to be 5 or 4 points that Max Service has over Seth Berger. And if things hold right now, Seth Berger will be the point leader. So,
well, that's interesting.
This is huge. There is a potential for the new sheriff in town, as the way the stages have gone, that Seth Berger could be the new point leader in the Outlaws Sim Series following tonight. The way Max is struggling, still struggling, in the way Seth Berger has been maintaining at the front of the field. Now, there's a lot of racing to go, and this is by no means over. But as they run right now, Seth Berger is the point leader.
Wow.
At the moment, it is the 77.
You know how about much?
So I'm gonna. So he's locked up most laps led, unless you get like 18 overtime attempts. He's locked up most laps led. That's gonna be another point, bringing it down to 3 points. Plus their gap right now is 6 points, so that puts Seth in the lead by 3. Plus, the lead lap point will be 4. Pole. So Fitzpatrick, so that one doesn't factor into this. So it's gonna be about 4, 5, maybe 6 points. That's all said and done in Berger's favor.
Wow. And then we're going, and just think, we're going into a super speedway the fall 2 weeks where anything could happen. So, you know.
Oh, baby. St. Coeur is in.
And talk about all that. Reese Schaefer starting to run down the 2 again, Emerson.
It's getting tight for these guys again. Now, the real thing is, they're probably, I'm going to be real, I don't think we're going to see anything before pit cycles. But how pit cycles go will set the tone for the rest of this race, for this battle.
Oh, absolutely. Jacob Reeves did get around Max Service, by the way. I don't know if we talked about that or not.
Well, yeah, we saw Max got loose and lost the spot. Yeah, so yeah, we did see Max. Max was very sideways, and Reeves took advantage of it.
And how about the 2 running at our top 10 right now, Emerson? Daniel Molinix and Julio Villalobos. Pretty decent nights for both of these guys. I mean, we know Daniel Molinix has had nothing but bad luck these last couple of weeks, having good qualifying runs and just getting involved in untimely wrecks. Hopefully we don't jinx him again tonight. You know, just saying. But and then Julio Villalobos, who you touched on, having a great night as well.
Yeah, Molinix started 8th, so Molinix trying to recover. Villalobos started 16th, and he has been on a charge, but nonetheless, decent nights. And Villalobos, he hasn't been in this series for quite a few weeks. I don't think you remember the last time Villalobos ran in the Outlaws Sim Series.
Was it Talladega?
I don't remember. I think that's a good guess.
I have a feeling it was Talladega.
I think he showed up for Bristol Dirt. I don't think he made it to the main event. I don't think he showed up for the main event. Because remember, that night went so long. So
gotcha.
I think Talladega was the last points race he finished, correct?
I'm pretty sure. I think you're right. I have no idea either. I was just winging it.
No, I think you are right. And at that, Villalobos, he hasn't been here for a bit. I don't know what he does outside the Outlaws Sim Series. But I can tell you this, he still got something in that 45 machine. And the thing is, he comes from a racing background. His father raced in the NASCAR Peak Mexico Series back in 2003. And I don't know, was the NASCAR Toyota, Mexico Toyota? Oh goodness, what was it called then? The Mexican NASCAR Series. And
was it the Euro? Well, it was the Euro something, right?
No, Wheel in Euro. That's in Europe. But nonetheless, I think Villalobos makes his own setups with his brother's help, and then having the background of his father racing in the NASCAR Mexican Series. There's a lot of layers to the 45 and Julio Villalobos. It is some great stuff. If you ask him if we have a throwback week this season, he's probably gonna run a throwback to a scheme that his father ran in the NASCAR Mexico Series.
That's pretty awesome. Not gonna lie.
Oh yeah.
I would love nuts. When you have a family with that much racing background. That's pretty cool.
Sure. That was just the kind of the diversion there to the top 2. Again, Molinix having a great run as well. They're running with some great company. Everybody else in the top 10 is some great names. Here we go. Fitzpatrick under attack from Reese Schaefer once again. And they are about the end of their fuel tanks here. They're going to be pitting here in the next 2 to 5 laps. Certainly. Yeah,
and I think we missed one. Scott Bailey now is a lap down. I don't know if that was a pit stop or...
okay.
So he might be playing.
Sure.
Might be playing some fuel run strategy here. He might be on the Jeremiah Stutzman treatment.
No, I think Stutzman is trying to make this last pit stop. I think Bailey's gonna have to pit again. I'm gonna be real.
Yeah, I just don't see. Oh my, the 2 got held up big time by the 41 right there.
Schaefer's gonna have a shallow line in the 3. If he can't clear, he will have a shallow line. He'll try to make up for it. This is gonna be huge when these guys pit and how these guys hit their pit entry, and of course, who makes the least amount of mistakes on pit road.
And the 38 can go a lap longer than these 3 because he pitted later than all 3 of them.
You can maybe go 2 if you double that, you know.
Absolutely.
So, potentially here we shall see. I don't know if they're gonna. Oh yeah, we'll see here. Schaefer has since lost touch to Fitzpatrick slightly. They're actually equidistant from each other, the second, third, and fourth place cars. And I thought I saw somebody come down the pit lane. We're still holding station, but we are getting to that point. 61 laps are the stint for the top 3. 60, 58s, 57s. Everybody's up there.
Our leader's slowing down. They're coming to pit road right now.
Yeah,
Seth Berger's slowing down to pit road. Seth Fitzpatrick.
Oh, I think Seth might have sped. Oh no, I think Berger might have sped on pit road. We'll have to confirm. But he might have just
Schaefer and Nicholas Shelton both stayed out. Reeves is also out there.
But he might have just did what he did in season 1. Let's see what it is for Seth Berger. He was very sideways, getting down to pit road speed. Moment of truth.
He did.
He sped on pit. Oh my goodness.
And Fitzpatrick too? Oh no, he just left.
Seth Berger, he has blown this race wide open. Reese Schaefer is in. Seth Berger.
Nicholas Shelton's still out.
Yeah, Shelton's still out there. Well, we knew he could stay out there. But Seth Berger, season 1, was in control of this race, and he sped on pit road. That gave the race to Max Service. Season 3, Seth Berger was in control of this race, and he sped on pit road.
Wow, unreal.
This is going to be
the dominant car of the day.
Fitzpatrick versus Schaefer. Shelton's on pit lane. Schaefer, pit exit.
He got out in front of him.
He got him by a large margin. But what is it to Shelton? Shelton down and away. Where's Schaefer? Out of 4.
Oh, Schaefer in the wall.
I'm sorry?
Schaefer hit the wall. I don't know if that was just on my end or what. He's bringing the wall off of turns 4.
Oh, he might have. There's a little bit of right front damage. I didn't see it, but he is ahead of Shelton. Schaefer is looking to cycle out as the race leader. Let's see if we can grab a replay of that real quick. Oh, yeah, he did. Here we go. We'll have it here. This is the guy who's going to cycle out to the race lead.
And he just carried up way too much speed off of turns 4. He wasn't as glued to that bottom seam on turns 4.
You're so right. That one's going to be hard, but his advantage is he'll have.
Oh, Nicholas Schoen! Nicholas Schoen just hit the inside wall down the back straight, and he just disconnected.
Nicholas Shelton is out of this race.
Oh my goodness!
How everything has flipped, turned upside down tonight.
What is happening?
Meanwhile, Jacob Reeves is now on the pit lane, and he's giving up the race lead to Jeremiah Stutzman.
Derek McMurtry is also in P3, but he's coming to pit road right now.
Yep, McMurtry's in. There he is. Stutzman still out there. He's trying to save as much as he can. He's trying to go as long as he can.
The cycle's all out. Reese Schaefer should be our leader.
He should be. But he's going to have a hard-charging Fitzpatrick without right front damage. behind him. Now, how long can Jeremiah Stutzman go? If it can go to 132, Stutzman might have done this.
If I'm him, I think he clutched the whole time. If I'm him, he had to have.
He had to have. Is it gonna be? He's staying out. Can he go 2 more laps?
Oh my!
If he can go 2 more laps, I think he's got it.
Like, does he have the speed to maintain though? That's the bigger question.
I don't think it's
Is it gonna matter though?
I was gonna say, it might not matter. It's gonna be a pit stop less. Who knows?
Oh boy!
Right now, he has a 15 and a half second lead over Reese Schaefer right now. He doesn't need 15 seconds. All he needs is to be leading on the last lap. He's coming down. It's gonna be tough. He's got to save a lot of fuel.
It's right at the line with 132.
Oh, did he speed right there? I think he got it. I think
he got it.
But
this is gonna be close.
This is gonna be your race leader, Reese Schaefer. He's lost. His advantage over Seth Fitzpatrick has been halved since we've finished the pit cycle, or since they've come off the pit lane. And Fitzpatrick is gaining on him, big time.
Yeah, I wonder if that damage that the 17 got is starting to play a little bit of factor, possibly.
It has to be. But for what it's worth, Reese Schaefer has not ran in the Outlaws Sim Series for 37 races. And this is his return to the Outlaws Sim Series. With no practice, coming in halfway through qualifying, and he is now leading this race with 67 laps to go. What a job from Reese Schaefer.
Yeah, maybe he can hold this off possibly and have a big smile on his face. I know he definitely would be happy to pull away with this one. It would be close though.
But and again, we know him. What would this do to him? He hasn't been able to win yet on Tuesdays, but if he were able to come and just show up and do it on a Wednesday here in Outlaws, what would that mean for him on Tuesdays?
I hate to say it, but I think it would be the biggest morale booster for him. I can't remember the last time he's won. Do we have that on record when he won an Outlaw? What was it? The season finale you said, right?
Yeah, his last race.
And just
so technically he's trying to go two in a row right here in his
yeah
sense.
I mean we race with him on Tuesdays. We know the frustration he goes through.
Absolutely.
Not being able to win. We know his frustrations of possibly not winning this season is incredibly frustrating. And if I'm him, I would be completely frustrated with myself at what I'm doing wrong to not win these kind of races. If I'm him and I'm able to win this tonight, my whole morale and composure is completely changed, and I'm the happiest person.
Sure.
And then I have that go on for the rest of my, couple months or so with league racing. Because once you win that one race and you get a taste of victory, it doesn't leave you after that.
That's fair. That I completely agree with that. What I also agree with is his advantage over Seth Fitzpatrick is coming down. 3.5 tenths the advantage. And Fitzpatrick is trying to close that gap. It's starting to stagnate a little bit, but the advantage is still in Fitzpatrick's favor in terms of the gap closing. And now Schaefer's got a lapped car right in front of him.
And Jonathan Jennings just got around max service for P5. And now James Gilliard's under fire about Jacob Reeves.
Oh, and that changes the points lead battle as well.
Oh, wow.
Seth Berger, at this current rate, is not going to be the point leader tonight. It should still be max service at this moment.
If Seth gets the caution in the right time,
sure, yeah,
he would be the first person to lap down. But right now it's Derek McMurtry. He has to get around the 84 with Derek McMurtry.
Adam Gardner now, because we just saw Adam Gardner get lapped.
Yeah, Adam Gardner now. Excuse me.
So,
but I think Adam Gardner's on a different pit strategy. I'm not sure though.
Yes, he is. But, well, he's going to be out there for still another 35, 40 laps. So, it'd have to happen after Gardner pits. And nobody else get lapped. Pretty tall task.
Yeah, pretty hard.
For what it's worth, top 10, Daniel Molnix is the last car in the lead lap. He's still about 10 seconds away from being lapped. But this battle for the lead's going to spice up here. But again, what have we been saying all day, Ed? Catching somebody is one thing. Passing somebody is a whole different story.
Hey, you thought clean air was your best friend. Wait until you meet the dirty air. There's always the bad version of something, and the bad version is dirty air. And Seth Fitzpatrick's about to get a taste of it right now.
And Reese's best friend is that clean air. I know he absolutely smashed the wall down, and he is under heavy pressure. But if Reese keeps his cart in front of Fitzpatrick, or keeps the nose clean, oh, that was a big ball.
I don't know about this right now.
Yeah. This one's big for Fitzpatrick. To the inside. And Fitzpatrick looks to... Can he get it? He is cleared. So new race leader, Seth Fitzpatrick. Zoltan Hertzeg is 4 seconds back of this battle. He is in third.
And I hate to say it, but I think that damage that Reese got on the right front is definitely playing a factor in this. He just didn't look like he was comfortable.
At least till their next pit stop. I think Reese Schaefer leads to their next pit stop if he doesn't hit the wall.
Absolutely.
I mean, we saw Schaefer was faster than Fitzpatrick for the longest time, but he couldn't pass him. But now Fitzpatrick's got the clean air. Fitzpatrick's good, don't get me wrong. Seth Fitzpatrick, he started from the pole. He's led a lot of laps tonight. And now he's got clean air. He's got a huge chance here.
Yeah, but
the question for both of them, can they make it to the end?
Yeah, my biggest thing, though, I want to point this out. What does Zoltan Hertzeg do in this position? You're 4 seconds back. How early do you think you should pit to be able to maintain a gap and possibly try to get around for this race win?
Yeah, that's huge. I haven't even considered that. That is a huge thing.
I feel like he's the only person that can be able to pull something off that can pit a decent bit early and just be able to hold out front. But I don't think you need to do it too early. You need to do it at a perfect moment. But he has to get that number right.
You know what? Jeremiah Stutzman, he is 2 laps down. So he had a minute on pit. So Jeremiah Stutzman sped on pit road. So Stutzman, his bid to win the race on fuel mileage is over. Oh, Reese Schaefer's pitted. Oh, here we go. This is the strategy call from Reese Schaefer to come on down.
I don't know why, but I feel like this might be a little too early if I'm Reese.
I absolutely agree. But, I mean, he's not going to make the playoffs. He doesn't have the start to make the playoffs. What do you have to lose?
Yeah. I mean, do you think he can hold it off for 55 laps?
I don't know.
It's going to be tough.
He'll come off the pit lane, refresh your tires, and Seth Fitzpatrick. That is what I do know.
Oh, he just DC'd.
Oh.
He left.
I guess he might have seen how bad the damage was. And all of a sudden, Swift Racing is out of the picture. Nicholas Shelton is out of the picture.
Oh, man.
Seth Fitzpatrick is your race leader with a 3.8 second advantage, 11 seconds to Scott Bailey, 12 seconds to Jennings and Service that duke it out for 4th. We'll catch up with them right here as this remains, I guess, as the battle on track. Reeves is 6th. He is 3 seconds back in this battle. Molnix 7th, Villalobos 8th, Gilliard 9th,
McMurtry 10th.
Yep.
But that whole battle for the lap down for that lucky dog spot's going to start to heat up soon. Adam Gardner is about to get passed by Seth Berger here in a second. Seth is starting to look to the inside of him now. And if he can catch McMurtry at the right time and hope for a caution to come out, this might get interesting again because how many cars we got a lap down? We got 10 cars a lap down.
Sure.
So this might be
what,
interesting.
Reese? I just saw the time. That's probably what Reese went on to do.
Which is what?
Well, he's gonna go spot for Ben.
Oh, yeah. I just thought about that, too.
Yeah.
Did they just... Oh, yeah, they just started. Huh. Yeah, that's probably the right call.
I would have been intrigued to see how it would have went for Reese. And I guarantee you, if Reese didn't hit that wall, he's staying in here. But
I would have loved to do an interview with him because I know how he is.
yeah, I was gonna pull him up, and I started looking. I'm like, I don't see him. And then I'm like, I know where he is. And I checked, and yeah, he was there. Here's service on Jennings, though. Not only is Max not gonna let Seth Berger be the new sheriff in town, but Max wants to open up that point lead.
Interesting here. Max Service is coming alive and coming to play. You know, he had struggled in practice with his speed, it looked like, and we saw him struggling for a little bit there. He's going to get to the inside of Jennings. And this is big, too, because how close these two were in points.
Yep, Jennings is third. He was coming into today. He's only 1 point back of Seth.
Is he going to clear him off the exit? He will. Jonathan Jennings had a moment. Oh, Adrian's all over the back of him.
Scott Bailey right up the road. Max is not out of a podium.
Oh,
With
boy.
everything that's happened to Seth Berger, to Reese Schaefer, to Nicholas Shelton, to Adrian Schumacher, and let the Jeremiah Stutzman, even though he hasn't been running up here, but he might take this race on field mileage if it wasn't for a speeding penalty. Max Service has stayed in it. He's kept it clean. And while at the moment it doesn't look like he's got any chance in it to win the race without a magic yellow thingy, Max Service is playing this race well, just like the Season 1 Legacy Texas race. He might just get a podium out of this thing, and he has not been a podium car today.
No. I mean, he's been like top 5.
Sure.
But with everything going on, now is the opportunity for him to show up. And now he's catching Scott Bailey right here. He's currently in front of him, and Scott Bailey's on older tires. Remember, he pitted way earlier before we had our cycle start going.
Bailey has committed to another stop in this race. He is 100% committed. He is going to pit another time in this race before it's over. And Max Service, while it's more than likely Max is going to have to pit one more time before this is over, it's not 1,000% confirmed. I mean, he could try to save 10 laps of fuel.
I mean, you could, but you would have to clutch a lot.
I know. Well, Max is looking to the inside nonetheless, and Max Service, the 3-time race winner this season, looking to try to get by Bailey. It's not going to be easy. Bailey's fighting hard.
And I don't blame him. I mean, you're trying to get your strategy to work. You got to get it work.
Oh, absolutely.
Max is going to send it in there and look like it'll clear him off the exit, but Scott's going to have the run up top. Boss to get up there. Max has got to slide up to try to clear him just a tad bit, and he does.
Cleared up. Max Service to the to third. Bailey looked back to the inside, though. Potentially had a go, and I think Bailey's coming down.
Yep, here he comes.
And I think that he knew that. As soon as he got past to the podium, he might as well come down pit and see if it's going to work.
Absolutely.
Adam Gardner is in as well. Well, now he's out of the pit lane.
How about Daniel Molnix? He's up at P5 right now.
How about it? And he's opened up a second and a half to Villalobos, who he was battling with before pit stops. You're right, and Villalobos 6th. They've gotten by Jacob Reeves.
I just love these underdog stories so much. It's just amazing.
Sure.
See how good people run. I mean, you always have surprises every time, and that's what I love about racing, man. It's amazing. Seth Berger's still trying as hard as he can to get to Derek McMurtry, but McMurtry's pulling away for that lucky dog. McMurtry's actually running 3 times faster than Seth Berger, and Seth's been trapped by traffic in front of him for the past couple of laps with Zoltan Herzeg and James Gilliard.
This is a very busy back straightaway here. I think. Here we go. I'm trying to show this overhead shot going on over here. Get it? There we go. There's a lot of congestion here on the back straightaways. Basically, the point I was trying to make. You have cars coming off the pit lane, cars in old tires, cars in new tires. I mean, it's crazy. But Seth he's cut it under 3 seconds back to McMurtry. And McMurtry is holding station in that 8th position.
Yeah, I think he's trying to work with Zoltan to try to get back up there. I think he's hoping Zoltan would get up there, but Zoltan's been holding strong where he's at right now. Not many battles going on around this track right now. Everyone's pretty much single filed out.
And well, before we get to that point where the pit window is open, before it gets cracked wide open, we're gonna go ahead and take one more side by side. Don't you go anywhere. Seth Fitzpatrick leading at the Texas Motor Speedway over Zoltan Hertzeg, Max Service, Daniel Molnix, and Julio Villalobos as Jonathan Jennings pits. We'll be right back.
Have you found yourself trying to hide your joy because you're unhappy with your teeth? Your smile is the first feature noticed in an interview, on a date, or in family photos. We want you to be able to shine bright as your best self, and our teeth whitening system is the perfect step toward restoring your confidence. After months of quarantine, we're all interested in how we can become our best self. The team at Permanent Makeup and Cryo is here to help you get the flawless makeup look every day without the extra effort or time. When it comes to your appearance, you deserve the best care that money can buy.
Welcome, race fans, back to the virtual Texas Motor Speedway in Fort Worth. Just to the north side of Fort Worth. They call this place No Limits, Texas. At least back in 2015, that's what this place started to be branded by. And the race leader is coming in. Race leader Seth Fitzpatrick is in as Hertzeg just pitted, so this is his attempt to cover it off. Here we go.
And Zoltan Hertzeg. Oh, Hertzeg just spun off of turns 4. He saves it. Going through the grass right now.
Oh my goodness. Zoltan Hertzeg, can he keep it? He's got it going in the right direction. We've seen that all day today, Ed. It is so loose out of turn 4. But if Zoltan Hertzeg would have gone around and collected somebody. You see who are leading right now?
No shot.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, this would be amazing. I swore I heard somebody make contact with someone. I just don't see anybody else with damage.
So, Seth Berger does have a lot of
before.
damage. You mentioned there was a potential miscue on pit entry. Seth Berger is in the pit box and he's in there for a bit. I don't know if he sped again or he's getting all that damage repaired. But what looked like a promising day for Seth to lead the most laps, and I think he's got that locked up. I said he had locked up earlier. I forgot he had to pass Seth Fitzpatrick earlier. But I still think... it's going to be close. They're going to be really close on laps led tonight, actually. If no green, white, checkers, they're going to be really close on laps led. Seth and both Seths.
Yeah, that'll be close.
Because,
I think
remember, Berger took the lead on 130. Berger took the lead on 30. And he sped on pit road on 130. But that's about half
That'd be
the race.
close. Yeah, it's close. I think Berger's got it, though, I
I think Fitzpatrick might have it, because Fitzpatrick hasn't led during the pit cycle before this one. And Berger has. The Berger's lost laps on a pit cycle, now that I think about it.
Oh. Well, that's interesting.
It's going to be close. Well, anyway, what looked like it was going to be a surefire dominant day. I'd say a surefire win for Seth Berger. Or at least a very good chance at a win. It's not been his day since. A speeding on pit road violation on pit entry. Trying to get everything he can get. Knowing that he was in a high-intensity battle for that read mentally with Seth Fitzpatrick, Reese Schaefer, and Nicholas Shelton. From then on, Reese Schaefer pounded the wall down, and he has since left the race. Nicholas Shelton spun out of turn 2, hit the inside wall, and he has left the race. Zoltan Hergzer just took a trek through the grass. He is now 6 seconds back of Seth Fitzpatrick. Seth Berger, again, he sped on pit road and gave the lead back to Seth Fitzpatrick. Adrian Schumacher got damage to his machine. Jeremiah Stutzman, who is looking to be the only one to take this race on fuel mileage, sped on pit road. So now we're looking to see what strategy is going to work out best. And of the drivers who can make it to the end of this race, Seth Fitzpatrick is the leader. Zoltan Hertzeg did just go purple, but he is 5.7 seconds back.
Do we remember when the 44, 45 last pit, by chance?
Yeah, they pitted 41 and 40 laps ago, so they cannot make it to the end. 43 and 46, my apologies. But they really can't make it to the end. So they're hoping for a yellow.
Oh, yeah, here comes the 45.
Well, Villalobos has thrown his hands up and said, well, he's expecting this race to go green is what I'm basically saying.
Yeah, I think so is Reeves, too, because Reeves hasn't pitted yet either. And we got Derek McMurtry, too.
Villalobos missed the box.
Oh. Well, that's not very good.
It's tough, man. You know, in these next-gen cars, the brakes, even though they're advertised as bigger, better brakes than a Gen 6 car, we have not gotten those on iRacing yet. And it's hard to stop in that box.
It's like a big slap in the face when they told us that. It's like, it doesn't work on my car.
Every week I hear Larry McReynolds say that, and every week I'm like, my brake pedal goes to the floor.
My front tires lock up. I can't slow down.
I can't slow down. Where are my brakes? Oh, Daniel Monix is your race leader, and
at least our wheels don't fall off.
Yeah, that's fair. I guess that that's the trade-off, right?
Yeah, that's the trade-off. Our wheels don't fall off. We don't get the brakes.
Give Daniel Monix the respect. He is the race leader, and he's going to lead a good chunk of laps here. I think he's going to run that thing dry and hope for a yellow. I guess that's his call here.
I don't blame him for where he was. I believe he was running around 7th or 6th for all the pit stalls, all the pit stops started. So, and we only got 7 cars on the lead lap too. So, ain't like he's gonna lose or gain out of it. Jonathan Jennings is gonna go around him to get his lap back. Oh, did I just hear somebody else's wreck? I'm up hearing things. I feel like.
I don't see anybody slow on the track. It's not obvious the time it's going to anybody slowed down significantly. Another note is Max Service, who was on the podium before pit stops. He is back to 2 seconds back of Scott Bailey. So Max Service is the theoretical 4th place driver. And we're now under 25 laps to go. And I know this race has seemed very anticlimactic, very different, very it's not what we've seen this season. But rest assured, this is a typical Outlaws Sim Series race. It hasn't been this season. But if you look to last season, and especially season 1, I mean, there was times where we'd go 2, 3, 4, no, not 4, but 3 races in a row without a caution. I mean, it's crazy. In the truck series, or in the truck series season, we would get cautions, but they'd be 1 caution right at the beginning, and the rest of the race was green to the end. I mean, we'd go maybe 1, 2, 3 laps, caution comes out, and then green to the end of the race. It's it's so wild, the kinds of races we got in the Outlaws Sim Series. And we got to this NextGen car, and don't get me wrong, Ed, this car is hard to drive. It is difficult. It is the most horsepower these guys have had on iRacing, in this league anyway. Now, there's sports cars and F1 cars and even the CLT cars that are iRacing do have more horsepower. But in the Outlaw Sim Series, this is the most horsepower we're working with. And it's a completely different type of steering box. And let's face it, these cars are hard to drive. And
Oh, they are.
and we've seen these drivers. We've seen the caution count be high this season, Ed. Because the drivers are making mistakes. But tonight, there's been a lot of mistakes tonight, certainly. There's been a few spins, certainly. But there's been no multi-car accidents tonight so far. And even if we get a slip at the end, it's been a phenomenal race and a typical Outlaws race to run 180 laps green.
Yeah, it's been a good race. I mean, I know it's not what everybody expected. I think we expected a couple cautions, maybe some more strategies to come into play. But, I mean, like you mentioned, this is a typical Outlaws race. I haven't seen a race like this in a while, trust me. So it's pretty nice to see that we got everyone taking care of their stuff here. I know we had a couple people losing their cars on exit and getting to the wall and speeding penalties, but that's a typical NASCAR thing,
Sure.
you know? Making personal mistakes.
And
You just gotta make sure you're perfect.
Andrew touched on this during the MPI race this past weekend, and you called that one with him, so you might remember this. But it's so good to it's refreshing to see drivers not be robots anymore. To have the ability to make mistakes on the racetrack. It's almost like with the 550 horsepower packages in the Gen 6 car and how much downforce they had. It's so hard to spin yourself out.
Yep. And now I think what we have now is like a 670 horsepower package, if I'm
670,
mistaken.
675, somewhere around there.
Yeah, and then now we got less downforce, so it's definitely driver error. It's never anybody else, so it's great. It's just refreshing to have something like this again. Like, I remember back in the days when I was a kid and watching, 2000s to 2005 NASCAR races. I was a big Tony Stewart fan.
Yeah.
Those high horsepower and seeing those flat cars spin at about 200 miles an hour and just hearing the horses just going through the straightaways, it was refreshing. It was the sight you wanted to see
great.
and hear. Oh, it was amazing.
But you know
and then
what?
just how the cars looked.
I completely agree. You know what, Ed? Remember when the NextGen car came out? And I don't know what you said when it came out and you first bought it and you took a lap in it. The first thing I said when I hit the accelerator off the pit lane with it, this thing sounds amazing.
The first time I drove it, I bought the Ford Mustang and the Chevy. I said, this thing sounds meaty.
Oh, it sounds amazing. So
it did sound meaty.
and you know what? NASCAR, I think this NextGen car accomplished a lot of what NASCAR wanted to do. First of all, NASCAR needed to make it more raceable. It certainly has been a much more raceable car. NASCAR put it back in the driver's hands. NASCAR added power back to the cars, which is what the fans wanted. They slowed the speeds down. It doesn't seem like it, but they have. For safety. Which I'm all on board with. In real life, let's keep those drivers safe, man. We slowed the cars down. We made them harder to drive. We made them more raceable. And they sound great. NASCAR accomplished a lot with this NextGen car. They ticked a whole lot of boxes off. This is a great project.
Yeah, just look at the Coke 600 recently.
Absolutely.
Everything we wanted. Multi-lane racing. Drivers getting out of ferocious wrecks, as we saw Chris Buescher flipping at Charlotte. When was the last time we saw a guy flip at Charlotte?
Early 2000s.
What was it, like a truck race or something, I remember? One of them got into the catch fence. But, I mean, it's been so long since we've seen stuff like that. And just the kind of I wasn't the winner I was hoping for, just saying the least, but it was a great race all around. Like
Absolutely.
every single thing happened. That was amazing. The high horsepower, drivers losing it off the exits. You know, just there's slim things that need to be fixed, like you and me both
Here we
agree
go.
on. Oh boy.
Max Serres was leaning on Scott Bailey to 3 and 4. Sorry to cut you off, but it
No,
did
that's
line
fine.
up.
But then you also looking at the times too. Zoltan Hergstein's catching Seth Fitzpatrick.
You know, he has chased him down. It is not over. It is 1.5 seconds. This battle continues on. This is Max trying to get back onto the podium. Should the 44 to 22 to 84 pit, we are expecting the top 3 to pit. Max Service is cleared into 6th, theoretically 3rd. And you're right. When Zoltan Hergzeg had his trek to the grass, Ed, he was 5.8 seconds back. Look at that gap now.
It's 1.3.
Zoltan's
gosh.
on a mission. And somebody's coming to pit road. I don't know if that's one to lead. No, that's...
I think it's a 41.
Yeah, that's me, Mike Petrin. But what have we said all day? And unfortunately, it's so true at Texas. Catching is one thing, passing's another. Boy, is it hard to pass here.
Yeah, and remember, he pitted earlier than Seth Fitzpatrick.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit of time game. I mean, he did slip up the one time. Imagine if he didn't slip up, he'd probably be closer than we see right now.
Oh, man. And you know what? Brad Bothwell is out there, and he's right in front of race leader Seth Fitzpatrick.
Oh, boy.
That's a teammate to Zoltan Hergzeg. Looks like Bothwell is getting out of the way. Maybe.
Is his arm itchy?
Aww.
You had to do it. You know, you had to do it.
Fitzpatrick's not clear. Oh! I was looking at the margin. Race leader is in Daniel Monix.
Jacob Reeves stays out.
Reese stayed out another lap. Maybe to get a lap led.
Eric McMurtry's also in.
Yep, 80. Yep, you're right.
Oh, boy. Imagine Jacob Reeves pulls us off. I don't think he can, but imagine. That would be one heck of a story.
Murchie. He only took a splash. If Murchie's going to leapfrog Monix, maybe? No, Monix is down and away. Jacob Reeves is still leading.
I
But
wonder. He can't make it. There's no way, right?
He would have to save 6 laps of fuel, I think.
If he did that, I'm done. I'm retiring. There's no shot you could save 6 laps of fuel. There's no way. It's so hard. It's so hard to save fuel in these cars.
What'll help a little bit is he's maintaining 5th gear, so the RPMs don't get us high off the corner. Even though,
Yeah, make it around.
even Vanville,
Yeah.
Seth Fitzpatrick is catching. Oh, you know, not on the right
he's
quick enough.
rolling. He's rolling down a
here
lot.
comes Reeves.
Yeah, he's coming.
This is it. That'll do it for Jacob Reeves.
Hertzig's close at the 6/10.
Oh yeah. We might have a good battle on our hands here at the end. It might make up for it.
What is this run that Herzig just got?
I don't
He
quite know.
closed it up so much off the exit of turn 3 and 4. I wasn't even watching, but he looked like he had way more speed than the 2.
Here we go. This time by will be 6 laps to go. And Hertzeg is there. And should anything
boy.
happen, Service is 6.5 seconds back.
Oh, here he comes. He's got to run.
Oh, the block. To the
He's
outside.
Zoltek could get the power down. I mean, it looked like Seth Fitzpatrick drove it in there, but it looked like he's going to maintain.
What if Fitzpatrick was saving for this moment? It's a far-fetched idea, but it's an idea.
Oh, man.
What if Fitzpatrick
It
was
would be so
just
smart.
keeping quiet, keeping his tires under him, and now he's got to duke it out, and now he can go 100%. 5
Oh,
laps
man.
to go from No
This is
Limits,
gonna get
Texas.
interesting. You want to get intense here, chat. This is where it's going to get crazy. 5 laps to go at Texas. Can Zoltan Hertzeg pull off the miracle and stop one of the dominant cars of the day in Seth Fitzpatrick, who's been leading a ton of laps?
Let's get that count. 56. You know what I think Seth did? I think Seth led more than 56. Seth Berger led more than 56. So I think you would be right there. But here we go. 4 laps to go.
I don't know how Zoltan's going to do it. Seth Fitzpatrick's just defending the bottom. And every time Zoltan goes to the top, he loses so much time. I think he's going to have to do something way more different than he has to.
Seth Fitzpatrick. It took him a season and another 10 races to become an Outlaws Sim Series winner. But he finally ticked that box at Watkins Glen. Zoltan Hertzeg, he got 2 wins on the season. Seth Fitzpatrick is trying to match that mark. Trying to put himself in the same category as Seth Berger and Jonathan Jennings.
Zoltan tried so hard right there. I saw the back end just about go around. He's pushing everything he's got into that 39 right now.
On the other hand, Zoltan Hertzeg has 2 wins, and he's looking for his 3rd to tie point leader Max Service for wins on the season. 2 laps to go, 3 miles to settle it.
If the 39 gets there, does he move him?
Oh, he's loose. This is going to be a Hail Mary attempt if Zoltan can get to Fitzpatrick here.
He's got to hope for a miracle that the 2 screws up somewhere, but I don't know if he's going to be able to do it as he's coming to the white flag.
1 lap to go, presented by Whiplash Sim Cams. Seth Fitzpatrick has a 0.2 of a second advantage on the final lap.
Hit your marks, do not make no mistakes, bring it back home in one piece. That's all Seth Fitzpatrick has to do. I don't think Zoltan's going to be able to get there, though, unless he has a miracle of ascend right here in turns 3 and 4. The 2s coming around 3 and 4, looking to finish the job.
Seth Fitzpatrick became a first-time winner in the Outlaws Sim Series a few weeks ago. Now he's got his 2nd. Seth Fitzpatrick wins it at Texas. Max Service does get a podium over Scott Bailey, Jonathan Jennings 5th, Julio Villalobos 6th, James Gilliard, and Daniel Molnix round out the lead lap. But it's Seth Fitzpatrick, your race winner. Now a multi-time race winner in the Outlaw Sim Series, and tied for the 2nd most wins on the season.
Yeah, it's a big points day for him, too. Not only does he have a win at a road course, but now he can check off he has a win at an oval.
That's a teammate bump right there from Scott Bailey.
It was more than a bump. That was a hit.
You know, I was wondering, when were we going to see Seth Fitzpatrick break through and get that win? He got so many runner-up finishes last season, and it's unbelievable how many times he finished 2nd last season and never won. And he finally broke through at Watkins Glen. And I just wondered if that was the one thing he needed. That one breakthrough. Oh my goodness. One breakthrough to win once, and they would just all start coming. And you know, I'm still not 100% sure if that's exactly what happened here. But certainly he has looked pretty sporty in the most recent weeks.
Yeah, once you get that first win, you got that taste on your lips, you know, you want more. You just want to go get more. And, you know, he kind of had the same kind of mentality tonight as he did at Watkins Glen. You know, he got the pole at Watkins Glen, led just about almost every lap, you know, had a battle off Adrian Schumacher. And then tonight, wins the pole here at Texas, takes the lead, leads about most of the laps compared to Seth Berger, who I think got the most laps led tonight. And then when Seth made the mistake, he pounced on it and took it again tonight.
And let's get right down to it. Let's bring up the man of the hour, driver of the number 2, and now a multi-time race winner in the Outlaws Sim Series, Seth Fitzpatrick. What a job. You started from the pole, you led 61 laps, and you ended up in victory lane on an oval this time as well. How does it feel?
Oh, it's good to finally get an oval win, man. I've run so good in the past, and finally to break through and get an oval win. I think all I needed was though that one win to break the ice, and we've run good ever since. So I'm gonna try to keep it going.
I'd have to agree. I did just mention that too. You know, I was wondering if that win was gonna be what you needed. But from that win, I said you looked pretty sporty since Seth. Again, you started from the pole. You got out to a near second advantage, and then Seth Berger caught you up. It was a hard fought battle. By the way, you put on a brilliant defense as long as you could, but Berger did find his way past you, and then he started to really open the gap. What was going through your mind at first, then before he passed you, and then from then, how are you gonna get him back?
Long run, or that first long run, I wasn't too good after about 25, 30 laps. I was getting real tight, and I made an adjustment on that pit stop and got it going a little bit better. And I was holding steady with him the next run, and I made another adjustment, thinking, this will be enough, and I can get around him. But I don't know what happened to him. I wish I could have raced him for it.
Yeah, he sped on pit road in a very similar fashion to how he lost this race in season 1.
Man, I'd love to have raced him for it.
It would have been great for a Seth and Seth show, certainly. But at a track that we've seen, I mean, first of all, the car is insanely difficult, but you put on a track that we've seen drivers make it so easy to speed on pit road, so easy to lose it at a 2 and 4. How did you stay so... God, what's the word? Not consistent. I can't think of the word. But let's just say consistent at the time. How'd you say so disciplined? That's the word. For 300 miles.
I was just focusing on no mistakes, and I made one that last run. I hit the wall. So I thought I was just out there cruising, driving Miss Daisy. Had a big gap, and I got to not paying attention and smacked the wall. It made the car loose, and that's what I believe allowed Zoltan to get so close.
Yeah, and that was going to be my next point. Right there at the end, Zoltan Hergzeg brought it down from a 6-second lead, and he was breathing down your neck. You still stayed disciplined as you had been all race, and you fended him off. I know it's hard to overtake here, but how did you fend him off there, those final 5 or 6 laps?
Dude, I don't know. He had me sweating. But I could... it looked like going into 1 when he'd get a run off me off 4. If I'd run a defensive line in 1 and take the line he wanted away, it looked like it was making him tight into 1, which would give me a little bit more gap. But man, I was so loose that whole last run after I hit the wall. Oh man, I thought he was going to get me. He had me sweating for sure.
Well, Seth, once again, a great win tonight. 61 laps led the pole. And again, your second win on this Outlaw Sim Series season. Your second win in your Outlaw Sim Series career. You got what are we looking at here? 11 races till the playoffs. How are you feeling about your run to the playoffs now that you tied yourself second most wins on the season?
Well, we're just going to keep trying to win and try to get focused on these playoffs, so we'll be ready to go when we get there, hopefully. But more wins right now is what I'm looking for. Wanting more wins.
Right on. Driver of the number 2, Seth Fitzpatrick. Brilliant job tonight. Congratulations again on your second win of the season, and best luck to you in the coming weeks, man.
Hey, thank y'all.
And driver of the number 2, Seth Fitzpatrick. What a job. What a win for the 2 of Seth Fitzpatrick. What a wild finish. And again, Ed, we were in green. Green to checkered. 14 lead changes as well. Not bad, I'd say.
No, absolutely not. I mean, just an amazing job by all these drivers tonight. I mean, I know we had a couple of people leave because they were wrecking loose and had their moments and had some mistakes, but a round of applause to every single person here that showed up tonight. And I'm kind of curious. I was hoping you'd ask him, like, since he won, do we get like 10 free wings like we usually do at Hooters now? Or I'm kind of curious.
I haven't been to Hooters in like a year. I'd like to get back there. Yeah, I gotta ask him for a discount code.
Yeah, at least the fried pickles, man. I mean, we gotta get something out of it.
Let's get to these post-race results. It was Seth Fitzpatrick fending off Zoltan Hertzeg, Tuval Wire, and Max Service rounds out the podium. Scott Bailey fourth, Jonathan Jennings fifth, 10 seconds back. Villalobos sixth in his first race back, and I'd say about a month and a half. And James Gilliard seventh. Daniel Monix rounds out the lead lap. Jacob Reeves, Derek Conferci, the top 10. Ed?
In 11th, we got Jeremiah Stutzman a lap down, along with our league owner, Adam Gardner, who had a great qualifying run tonight. And then the man with probably the biggest disappointment tonight, and I know he's definitely frustrated at himself, Seth Berger, who led the most laps, had a dominant car, and again, just those mistakes that you cannot make, and he made one of them tonight. He sped on pit road and lost the lead and never got recovered from his lap down, and he coming in 13th. 14th, we got Robert Giannini in the 34 machine, along with Andrew St. Cor, 15th. Brad Buffalo, 16th. Mike Petrin in 17th. Andrew Schumacher in 18th. The guy that hasn't showed up since the finale in Season 1 in 19th, Reese Schaefer, who joined in tonight. And then another dominant car that ended early due to a personal mistake, the 38, Nicholas Shelton, in 20th.
Right on, and the final page of our results tonight, continuing on Heartbreakers Row. Matthew Setzer, 137 down. John Mickey, 141 down. Devin Smith, 148 down. Doug Solms, he had a no front end for a while there. He ended up 179 down. Nate Aldrich, 196. Matt Rogers, 198. And Larry McClellan did not start tonight's race. So that is how the 27 drivers fared tonight, 26 that started. And yeah, we're not done with our coverage here of the Outlaws Sim Series from Texas Motor Speedway. We're just getting started with post-race coverage. On the far side, more post-race interviews, race recap, and more. Don't you go anywhere.
After months of quarantine, we're all interested in how we can become our best self. The team at Permanent Makeup and Cryo is here to help you get the flawless makeup look every day without the extra effort or time. When it comes to your appearance, you deserve the best care that money can buy.
Welcome, race fans, back to the virtual Texas Motor Speedway out in No Limits, Texas. It was a great night tonight, Ed. Caution free. I think it is the first time. Well, I guess other than Watkins, Glen, and Canadian Tire. The first time we had an oval go caution free this season in the Outlaws Sim Series, and it was great. 14 lead changes tonight, and now a second time winner on the season, Seth Fitzpatrick. We don't have a second place finisher Zoltan Hertzeg to talk to, but we will get to talk to the driver who remains the sheriff in town in the Outlaws Sim Series, Max Service. I know for a while there, it looked like there was going to be a new sheriff in town tonight, but you will end up maintaining that point lead at the top of the point standings. You had a wild race tonight. I'm going to talk about it.
Yeah, I ran the wrong pinion, steering ratio for anybody who didn't know. As in, I chose to run it. It ended up being the wrong one. 10 laps in, I found that out. I ran one down a little quicker than Seth did, and Reese did, and they were just so much better on right front. And we know Reese, hot lap Schaefer, likes to kill right front tire, and he was better than me on right front tire those first two runs.
Oh, he liked to kill right front wall tonight too, huh?
Ah, well. He's busy spotting right now, anyways.
I know.
But and then from all the right front wheel, the car started snapping loose on the exits of every corner. I don't think I exited a corner straight that entire, last 30 laps of the second run on tires. Just pointed at the inside wall, pointed at pit road, whatever, off every corner. So then I came down pit road, put half a pound in the right rear, loosened it up a little bit more through the center to stop putting so much wheel in. Was catching it on entry every time, but it was so much quicker and so much better, and it wasn't snapping off exit anymore. So I could actually get on the power, and I knew those runs at the end, as long as I played them right, they weren't going to be long enough for the right rear to come in too much. I pitted, my last stop was when the right rear started to give way.
So I have to ask, I know you're not any of your teammates, but the chaos that was your Discord channel when Seth sped, when Reese hit the wall, what's going through your mind as all that happens? What is happening?
Well, it started, Adrian sped on the first round of pit stops.
Right.
Seth sped on the second round of pit stops. I didn't even know Reese hit the wall. He had to go anyways. But yeah, there's a lot going on. I was having a terrible race anyways at that point, so I was like, yep, we're just sucking tonight. Yeah, I don't know. The setup was really good. I just, sucked. And obviously they caught some poor luck and some mistakes.
Well, you are on the podium tonight. You're still a point leader heading into the off week, and then you come back to iRacing Super Speedway. What are you thinking about that? I know it's a Super Speedway, but it's a whole different kind of animal.
I don't like it at all. The last time we were at a Super Speedway, I ran 25 laps, so not really looking forward to it, but that's okay. It's like Dover on steroids, except it's a lot less fun than Dover. I really don't like it, but it is what it is. We're gonna go there and we're gonna try and run really, really good. I don't know. We'll see, but I mean, congrats on Fitzpatrick for winning tonight. It looked like it was probably a fun little run to the end there. I don't know. I was just watching the standings.
Yeah.
On iRacing.
Right on. Well, congratulations on the podium.
Sorry, I want to cut you off again.
Congratulations on the podium, the points lead, all that jazz, Max. Best luck to you in a couple weeks, man, and enjoy that off week.
Yeah. Thanks, y'all. Have fun on your off week too.
Very much appreciated. I completely forgot, Ed, that was supposed to be your interview. My apologies.
No, that's fine. It's better all that way anyways. If he cut me off,
Oh, Max is gonna have it in Discord later, huh?
Oh, of course he is, dude. Oh, this guy, man. This guy.
Max at the battle. The 11 car, Scott Bailey, 4th place finisher tonight. En route to that podium finish. He's standing by with Ed Shearer. Ed?
Scott Bailey. Well, sir, first of all, congratulations on your top 5 finish. Second of all, what was the decision on changing the paint scheme this week? I missed the Tron Legacy look.
Oh, yeah, I appreciate it. I appreciate the top 5. We had a good car tonight. Changed up the paint scheme. I don't know, I really like the Dodge front end, and I was just kind of messing with color schemes and came up with the white version of it. So we just kind of rolled with it this week. Call it the Stormtrooper instead of the Tron. But no, we had a good car this week. Really good long run speed. We just didn't have enough for the leaders, so I'm happy to bring it home. Top 5 though. Good points day. We've got good stage finishes. So
yeah, we watched you a couple times. Yeah, we know when you got trapped down a certain moment, you started mixing up the pitch strategies to try to leap some of those guys, in front of you. How big did pitch strategy start to come into play for your type of strategy? I know you wanted to make up as many positions as you can, but do you think leapfrogging helped you better tonight get this finish?
Yeah, really, I think it did. I originally went into this race thinking I was going to run a 4th gear setup, saving 5th gear for a fuel strategy. I didn't go with it because I didn't practice it enough. I wish I would have, because I would have tried to run, the 2 pit stop strategy, but once I knew I couldn't make it, if I just pitted with the leaders, I knew I didn't have a chance. So I figured I'd try it, and tires evened out after about 25 laps, 30 laps. So they would catch me again, and then all of a sudden we'd get pretty even. So I was able to jump, I think, 3 or 4 guys. So it worked out.
Yeah, you had a great run tonight, and I know it's good for you and the team as your teammate got the win tonight, and you finished top 5, and you're 6. I'm looking at you in the point standings right now. You're 6 in the point standings, 175 back of the leader Max Service currently, and Seth Fitzpatrick, your teammate, you're behind by just, I want to say, about like 80, 70 points or so. So it's definitely a good point stat for both you and your teammate. Now, we do have the week off next week, and then we go to iRacing Super Speedway the following week after that. How do you feel about your chances possibly getting a win at iRacing Super Speedway? If not, how do you feel about your chances overall of doing well there?
Unfortunately, I'm not gonna have to miss that race. I'll be out of town for work, so I was hoping the week off would fall in line with when I'm gone, but I'm gonna miss that race. But overall in the season, I think I've got decent speed. I definitely want to be able to. I think I've got a shot to contend in the playoffs, but looking to try and break through and get that win. So I'm really looking forward to Eldora. I think I do well on the dirt, so that might be a shot to win. But wish I was running next week because I do like super speedways, but I'm going to be missing that one.
Oh, so you're probably going to be missing New Hampshire Motor Speedway then? Is that basically what you're saying? I would imagine so too.
No, I'll be back for that one.
Oh, okay. I'm pretty sure that's where we go after iRacing Super Speedway. So, other than that, I mean, at least we know that your season's still going well, strong. And Scott, I wish the best of luck to you in the rest of your season. Hopefully, you can maintain these finishes with these top 5s and even sneak out a win maybe at one of these coming tracks. But congrats on the run tonight, and we'll be talking to you soon.
Yeah, appreciate it, guys. Appreciate what you guys do to put this on, and Adam for putting it all together. So, yeah, have a good night.
And that was driver of number 11, Scott Bailey, finishing in 4th tonight. Ed, you down for one more?
Yeah, why not? Bring it to me. Why not? Let's get Jonathan.
Yep, Jonathan Jennings headed your way. Driver finishing in the 5th position tonight.
Jonathan Jennings. Well, sir, first of all, congratulations on the top 5. Second of all, I know it's not the night you wanted, and the little red, white, and blue scheme you got going on looked great out there in Texas at night. How do you feel about your night overall?
Yeah, I struggled most of the night, and when I finally hit on something, it was a little too late. I use it kind of as a test, trying a little something. It felt good, but just not exactly there.
Now, you mentioned you're using this as a kind of a test. Like, are you preparing for future tracks in the future, possibly for some playoff tracks that we have coming up, or is this just something you wanted to try out yourself?
Yes and no. I've been kind of focused on the playoffs here the past 3 or 4 weeks. My strategy's been a little different. I've been going for stage wins. It's bit me some places, and other places it's been alright. Yeah, I'm trying to get prepared for later on.
Well, I could definitely say that you're definitely one of the favorites to look at for the playoffs. I mean, looking at the schedule coming up and knowing your kind of background of how you perform at certain tracks, you had the win at Nashville Fairgrounds, and you could say New Hampshire's kind of that short track feel that maybe someone like you can possibly get another win at. It could also be like a Martinsville you can do well at. But, before that, we got to go to iRacing Super Speedway. We have the week off next week, and then we go to iRacing Super Speedway. So how do you feel about your chances maybe sneak one over there and get a win over there?
I don't like super speedways at all. I'm gonna be working on the next race. I'm just gonna run something that'll get me around there, and try to stay out of trouble, really.
Yeah, I remember the last super speedway we were at. We were at Talladega, and you had that little moment with Max. Maybe you just have to get away from Max in general. Maybe that would help you a little bit. I don't know. Maybe fall in that kind of card category there, maybe, or something like that. But hey, man, listen, you do great everywhere we go, no matter what. You're the most consistent driver, I believe, that finishes well. So congratulations on your top 5 tonight, and go get them stage points like you want, and we'll be seeing you in a couple weeks.
Thank you.
That was driver of the 91, 5th place finisher, Jonathan Jennings. And that wraps up the interviews tonight. But again, our first caution-free oval on the season. It's been a while since I've been able to say that as well. But it was refreshing to have just a quick one. I say quick. The race is the broadcast itself is going to be coming up to the 3-hour mark. But in terms of no bogs in the action tonight, and I was very pleased with that. That being said, what do you make of tonight's race? I think we had a lot going on, varying strategy, a little bit of an intense finish, and I think a whole lot to kind of put a bow on Texas tonight.
Honestly, in my opinion, it was very surprising. I never broadcasted a fully complete, green flag race. I've always had one race that I've watched or, broadcasted that, had at least a caution, maybe 2, maybe had a little bit of bickering here and there, but tonight was very interesting. It was completely green all the way, and especially at Texas, I did not expect that. I expected a lot of handling issues, but we did see, a little bit of those issues here and there where some drivers had the pit road speeding penalty, some drivers got loose and had damage off the wall and all those kind of mistakes. But overall, it was a great overall race where strategies did come into play, tires came into play, certain lines came into play, and even the dirty air and how you manage the air came into play to win. And Seth Fitzpatrick was able to dominate that in that certain way and hold off Zoltan Herzeg and be able to cap off for his second win of the season.
Absolutely. And as you've heard, we have the off week coming up. Let's be real. iRacing Build Week is coming out. Many reasons to take that off, by the way. First of all, let's be real. It's a 36 race schedule. We need a week off, man.
Yeah, man, we need to go to Fiji, man. We're going on vacation.
Secondly, though, I believe there's going to be an update to the NextGen car. So we want to give these drivers that opportunity to test it out, even if it is a Super Speedway coming up. Want to give those drivers an opportunity to test it out over the course of a week instead of the course of 18 hours. So I'm much more of a fan of that. Also, we've seen iRacing unfortunately have issues the day of and the days following right after an iRacing update. So we want to be free of those. So we'll give iRacing over a week to figure it out after the Season 3 2022 Season 3 update comes through, and we'll be back in action in 2 weeks' time. Series that's not taking a break, though, is the MPI Cup Series, and that's what we got coming up this Sunday night. Ed, I believe it's going to be you and I rocking the show at Worldwide Technology Raceway at Gateway. Now, I know this is in St. Louis, I know the track is in the St. Louis area. I did not know that it's in the St. Louis area on the Illinois side. I just found that out yesterday. But it is technically in Illinois. And that's where we're at Sunday night. And then we'll have that entire week off. The iRacing updates Tuesday. Outlaws is going to take that Wednesday off. And other leagues are in their off seasons right now as this build comes through. So we'll pick back up with MPI Cup Series action the following Sunday night at the Sonoma Raceway. And then we'll be back with Outlaws Sim Series action in 2 weeks' time at the iRacing Super Speedway. Modeled after, of course, Coca-Cola Super Speedway from the NASCAR Racing Papyrus games. But Ed, quite a slate of races. A little bit of a break in the action, I think, is well-deserved and much needed for the drivers, much needed for us. But still a good slate.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to Sunday night Emerson at Gateway. I've been watching a bunch of the fixed races and watching a couple of the pro drivers. I watched a little bit of the Coke Series race the other night to understand what these next-gen cars are able to do there at Gateway. So, because we know next-gen cars have never been there before at Gateway. Correct. So even this week, it's completely new to today's series, and it's going to be interesting to watch, and I'm really looking forward to that. And then, we got that little bit of a break. I'm excited. It's a little needed break for all of us, I believe, here at Pit Stop. So we're going to go refresh our minds and get back and go right back to it with MPI at Sonoma, and then we're back with it at Outlaws. Hopefully Devin's back, and I'll be back on my socials. If not, I'm always happy to fill in for Devin. I know probably out there listening or such. And Dev, we miss you. Hopefully you come back soon. And yeah, pretty much that's it. I had a great night tonight, and definitely looking forward to Sunday with you.
Absolutely. I've had a blast calling these races with you. But yeah, I know. First of all, Devin, I want to assure y'all, Devin's fine. He's just really backed up at work. It's inventory time, so he's being held a little bit longer on these days, so he's not going to be able to call a few races with us. So just want to make sure he's all right. But yeah, it's been a blast to call these races with you, Ed. And you mentioned socials. You've been doing great work on the socials. You can check out our social media updates at our Facebook page at facebook.com/pitstoptv, our Twitter at pitstoptv_, Instagram at pit_stop_tv. It's also our Twitch, by the way, twitch.tv/pit_stop_tv. And our YouTube channel tonight, it's always our YouTube channel, youtube.com/c/pitstoptv1. But Ed, it's gonna be I guess we are gonna call Sundays nights, but I guess to the Outlaws crowd, last time we're gonna see him for a couple weeks. What do you want to leave him with?
See y'all at Irish Super Speedway. Pretty much that. I'm going to Bora Bora. I'll see y'all later.
It is going to be crazy. It is going to be the biggest oval we've ever ran a race in the Outlaws Sim Series on. Cannot wait to see how these drivers will fare at VI Racing Super Speedway. But that'll do it from the Lone Star State. We're happy to have you all here tuning in and joining us for tonight's action, and we hope you enjoyed tonight's broadcast. For all at Pit Stop TV, at Sheer beside me on the mic this evening, I am Emerson Arden. Thank you all for tuning in, and we'll see you Sunday night for MPI Cup Series action from Worldwide Technology Raceway at Gateway, or in 2 weeks' time for the return of Outlaws Sim Series action from the iRacing Super Speedway.